Chapter 331, Axis 5. B. Buddhist Family Methods. Senior may not have heard of it before. What was it? It's a method system based on beings known as the Seven Brilliances Kings, but it's not a very popular cultivation system, so it's almost obsolete now. Quote. It seems that the existence of Buddhist family methods has not completely disappeared. Well, there were temples in the lower realm too. I stare at her for a moment. Quote. Fine, let's stop here. I sigh, suppressing my killing intent. It would be impossible for her, Tae Yaljaeon, to be acting while deceiving even her own heart essence. Unlike the previous life's Tae Yaljaeon's heart essence, hers is chaotic and desolate, like the abandoned temple. What do you think of the heart tribe? For example, the heaven-collapsing esteemed one Jang Ik. Oh, you mean the leader of those spies. Quote. No matter how you look at it, she isn't Tae Yaljaeon. As I sigh from a headache, I realize I feel a sense of déjà vu from this room. That's right, it's too messy and unmaintained for me to recognize at first. However, this is the room I had come to rest in briefly when I felt dizzy in front of Tae Yaljaeon in the previous cycle. Previously, there had been Tangwa paintings all over this room, but now there are none to be found. While looking around, I find the fairy tale book I had seen before. This fairy tale book is still here. It's a children's book based on the theme of sincerity moves the heaven. Everything symbolizing Tae Yaljaeon, like the Tangwas, have disappeared, but it appears that Buddhist family methods and such fairy tales still remain. Of course, the book itself seems to have been neglected for a long time. It's worn out in many places and has traces of insects having gnawed at it. The table of contents is familiar. A fairy tale that spread from the head realm. There are fairy tales that have spread, slightly changed here and there, throughout the head realm and even in the bright cold realm. Even when I asked Su In and Hong Yian before, they said it was in the true devil realm too, showing that places where people live are all the same. They are fundamentally fairy tales with the lesson that sincerity moves the heaven. I miss my master. These were the fairy tales I found in the library when I sought a way to overcome the 7-star ritual with Cheongman Ryong. They are very nostalgic. Wait, looking at this fairy tale and the current situation where Tae Yaljaeon disappeared, I remember something similar in the past that had happened before. Wasn't there a similar incident in the past? A chill runs down my spine. But for some reason, I can't clearly remember what it is. What is it? Something similar happened before. But I can't recall what it is. Seeing the fairy tale book triggered the memory, so it must be related to this book. Quote. Hey, why yes, Senior, I asked this woman from Grand Nirvana Temple. Do you know anything about this fairy tale? Well, aren't they common fairy tales? I once learned the common language of the bright cold realm from my master and read them for fun. They should be in the deep libraries of other sects as well, not just our temple. Actually, they might even be found in ordinary households. I frown, trying to recall the memory that keeps surfacing in my mind. I feel like I'm about to remember something. Fairy tale book. The vanished Tae Yaljaeon. This strange sense of incongruity. Quote. This fairy tale, is it supposed to end at chapter 7? Shouldn't there be a chapter 8? Pardon. Finally, as I'm flipping through the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I remember the source of this incongruity. I have definitely seen a fairy tale book before that went up to chapter 8, not 7. The first story was definitely not something about a carp or whatever. There is a missing fairy tale from this list. That fairy tale is important. She scratches her head and says, I apologize, I'm not really sure. Well, different regions might have their own contents tailored to their own region. Quote. Come to think of it, that is true. The environments of the bright cold realm and the head realm are fundamentally different, so what am I even trying to find? Yet, I can't shake off this bizarre feeling. Something is off, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember it. Thump, thump, thump. My heart is pounding. I'm shivering. Just, what exactly did I forget? Thump, thump, thump. For some reason, I feel a pain in my heart. Quote. This is dangerous. I feel chills down my spine. I feel a strong sense that it will be better for my well-being not to think any further. It's different from the time I mentioned the titles of governing immortals to harm Coao. An ominous sense of doom coming from deep with my soul dominates me. If I'm not careful, something terrible will happen. Let's not dig any deeper. Maybe, when I reach a higher realm, I'll remember. I decide to bury the unremembered memory for now. Alright, then, I'll be on my way now. After bidding her off, I leave Grand Nirvana Temple with a hardened face. I see. I understand the subtle reaction Hun-Won had when he heard that I will be joining the Grand Cultivator Association. In this cycle, Tae Yaljeon doesn't exist. Her joining the Grand Cultivator Association and setting a precedent for the Heart Tribe to join has disappeared. Damn it, I understand why Hun-Won let me go so easily. It wasn't just because he lacked the confidence to face me. Although nothing was said in Temporal Fate Island, when I enter Heavenly Human Island, the Grand Cultivators will likely try to capture me. I don't know why, but history itself has been twisted. I have no idea how such a thing is possible. I'm just bewildered. I calm my trembling heart. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. Even if I know that history has been bizarrely twisted, what can I do about it? For now, let's just do what I can. It becomes even clearer to me that I need to hone the power of the canvas of myriad forms and connections. When history twists like this, if I forget about such truths, how terrifying would that be? I need to solidify my own history even more. There's no change in the plan. I will go to the Grand Cultivator Association and be recognized as a Grand Cultivator. Even though the existence of Tae Yaljeon has disappeared and history has changed, the power I possess hasn't vanished. I leave the Grand Nirvana Temple, head up the valley, and settle on a spot. Let's restore my Heaven Tribe cultivation. After reaching the 4-axis stage, I will reconnect the axis of wealth and advance to the mid-stage. Then, when I enter the Grand Cultivator Association with the genuine 3 great ultimates and declare myself a Grand Cultivator, who will dare to stop me? The precedent is gone, I'll just create a new one. I sit down and gather heaven and earth's spiritual energy with my attraction force. As overwhelming celestial energy gathers, to the extent of rumbling thunder, my cultivation that had fallen to the mid-heavenly being stage begins to rise. After facing the heavenly tribulation for the late heavenly being stage again, I prepare my rise to grand perfection heavenly being. It's time to use the Heavenly Circles formula. The new Heavenly Circles formula is as follows. In spring, all things are born, Chun Zhe Wan Wu Shi Shang. In summer, all things are grown, Sha Zhe Wan Wu Zhang Yang. In autumn, all things are matured, Chu Zhe Wan Wu Sheng Shu. In winter, all things are conserved, Dong Zhe Wan Wu Bai Kang. None are beyond the merits of the 4 seasons, Wu Fei Si Shi Ji Gong Yi. Spring gives birth to all things. Summer nurtures all things. Autumn matures all things. Winter puts all things to rest again. This is the merit of the 4 seasons, Si Shi. The cycle of spring, summer, autumn, winter Chun Sha Chu Dong completes the heavenly circle. It is long yet simple at the same time. However, I feel that this formula fits the heavenly circle better than the original acceptance at fate's end. Wing, the power of the heavenly being cycles within me. Although acceptance at fate's end harmonizes well with the power of the 4-axis, the formula received as a gift of connection in an yin feels complete in the heavenly being stage itself. Although it might not harmonize well with the 4-axis stage, within the same level of the heavenly being stage, this formula is stronger. Wu Wang, I feel the halo of the heavenly circle behind my nascent soul becoming more distinct. This is ZZT. While contemplating the halo of the heavenly circle, I feel as if thunder has struck my entire body from the top of my head. This is Gugugugik. A sound like something scratching resonates as the fiercely spinning halo of the heavenly circle seems to separate from the world itself. I knew this feeling, an axis, wing. At the same time, the attraction force from my nascent soul becomes even stronger. Indeed, it's another axis. What is an axis? An axis is a kind of nascent soul. However, unlike the nascent soul created during the nascent soul stage, which imprints one's very self, an axis is a nascent soul imprinted with a specific attribute. In other words, it is a nascent soul that maximizes an attribute rather than a personality. The method to obtain an axis through the heterodox axis foundation is to kill a cultivator of the same realm, crush their nascent soul, and compress it into an axis. Since the nascent soul is spiritual power that's on the plane of soul, and not the soul itself, when separated from the soul and compressed within the body, there's no risk of the body being stolen. One 4-axis cultivator, 100 heavenly being cultivators, or 10,000 nascent soul cultivators can be used to create an axis, but even 100 billion core formation cultivators can't create an axis for this very reason. The standard method to obtain an orthodox axis foundation is to gather a large amount of an attribute's energy, perform a ritual at the plane of chi, and, just like creating a nascent soul, elevate it to the plane of soul and then connect it to one's own nascent soul. Hence, an axis has no definite form. It can be a surface, a point, or a three-dimensional object. That is the axis. If a person's nascent soul takes the shape of a person, what shape should the nascent soul of the nature of heaven and earth take? The 5 blessings are a given, and since the 5 elements indeed have no fixed form, every race, every method, and every way of thought has a different way of storing an axis. The demon race might store it in the form of the 5 viscera and 6 bowels, while the heaven tribe might store it in the form of dharma treasures. Of course, as the name, axis, suggests, many store it in the form of a pillar, but it isn't absolute. The important thing is that while an axis is a type of nascent soul, it is a nascent soul imprinted with an attribute rather than a personality, meaning it can be controlled with the main nascent soul created during the nascent soul stage. But now, my main nascent soul has become an axis. It's an exceedingly bizarre occurrence. But this strange contradiction makes my head ache. Why didn't Seoli notice this? He must have cultivated this formula for hundreds of years before me, yet among the insights Seoli passed down, there's no mention that the main nascent soul becomes akin to an axis through the new heavenly circle formula. In other words, Seoli was unaware that the main nascent soul will transform into an axis. While thinking about the differences between myself and Seoli, something flashes through my mind. Heart, Shin. That's right. Seoli was considerably less adept at handling heart essence compared to me. Although I don't know the exact reason, I feel that this new formula of the heavenly circle is significantly related to the heart. Ah, I see. Wing. The Great Desert to Dead Sea responds so naturally. Seoli didn't know it himself, but he was unconsciously applying this formula to the Great Desert to Dead Sea. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth is a given, but theoretically, it could also seize the spiritual energy of others. That is the Great Desert to Dead Sea. Though I would never use it in such a way due to my personality, even excluding that, the technique that ravenously devours heaven and earth's spiritual energy to the point of desertifying an area is exactly the Great Desert to Dead Sea. But if such a convenient devilish art is possible, why haven't other races or sects developed such a devilish art sooner? Seoli had unconsciously applied this formula to create the Great Desert to Dead Sea. As a formula that creates an axis out of the nascent soul, it allows for wielding a vast amount of attraction force, even more so than others of the same realm. It unconsciously uses the attraction force to voraciously absorb heaven and earth's spiritual energy and directly infuse it into the nascent soul. As I observe the nascent soul emitting attraction force within me, I fall into thought. The reason the axis has attraction force is because it itself is a kind of symbol, and thus part of nature. Of course, all objects have attraction force, but the reason an axis has a stronger attraction force is that creating a nascent soul as a symbol maximizes the attraction force within the symbol. Then there arises a problem here. What exactly does this new axis symbolize? Kugugugik. I feel the attraction force emanating from my nascent soul. A formula that allows wielding the power of the 4-axis stage within the heavenly being stage. However, it doesn't harmonize with other 4-axis stage formulas. It's an extremely peculiar matter. I'll have to investigate this more closely while accumulating more axes. After 7 days and nights, I perform a ritual with the Great Desert to Dead Sea and elevate my heaven tribe cultivation to the 4-axis stage. Kururung. Having withstood the heavenly tribulation, my entire body radiates an immense attraction force, and my eyes gleam. The attraction force obtained with the new formula of the heavenly circle. The attraction force gained upon reaching the 4-axis stage. And the attraction force acquired through the axis of wealth following my regression. Additionally, the power exuding from the perfectly harmonized 3 great ultimates. It's clearly at the late integration level. Now, shall I go reclaim the position of a grand cultivator? No precedent is needed, no permission is required. If there is no Tae Yal Jaeon, then I will become the first grand cultivator of the Heart tribe. I prepare everything and ascend to Heavenly Human Island. Tadat. Heavenly Human Island is thriving as usual. The voices of bustling cultivators reverberate everywhere, and the markets are bustling with activity. It's when I ascend to the outskirts of Heavenly Human Island, to the marketplace. ZZZT. A tingling killing intent pierces my whole body. Step. I take a step forward and naturally draw my colorless glass sword. My consciousness accelerates so very naturally. Heaven and earth slows down. 3 in front, 2 behind, 1 on the left. My consciousness quickly sweeps the surroundings. Passers-by passing by me. A Dharma treasure vendor selling a compass-shaped Dharma treasure to customers. An artist under a canopy, painting and receiving money while avoiding the sunlight. Hyeon Gui, walking around with a snack in his mouth, chatting with other members of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect as if on a mission. Seeing Hyeon Gui startles me a bit, but it appears like a coincidence, so I set him aside for now. These people are within a 2-jong radius of me. Up to 5 jong away, there are children running around, a group of cultivators examining flying sword magic artifacts, a body cultivator promoting body refining methods, and a flock of low-level spirit beasts resembling pigeons fluttering their wings as they take flight. In a fleeting moment, in a brief instant where even calling it feeding is insufficient, I imprint everything within a 5 jong radius into my mind. But it isn't enough. The range of a martial artist expands even further. 10 jong. An old man carrying a flower basket, looking around. A man testing a chariot-shaped Dharma treasure, a child reading a method book while holding an apple in one hand, a couple holding hands and laughing happily, an old woman at the core formation stage with a resigned expression as if she has little time left. I calculate even the trajectory of every dust particle they kick up into my sword path. 20 jong, 30 jong, 40 jong, 100 jong. Quack. With a speed that seems to match light, I gradually read every movement within my domain while grasping the starting form. A world where time slows down due to acceleration. The world seems to darken. Within that, my eyes gleam fiercely. And then, flash, the leader of the Human Race Grand Alliance, a Grand Perfection Integration Stage Grand Cultivator, and head of the Grand Cultivator Association, Jun Jae, using the flying escape technique, dashes towards me like a streak of light in the frozen world. Got you, Heart Tribe Spy. I move my sword with a bitter smile. All 6 Grand Cultivators of the Human Race Grand Alliance, excluding Hun Wan, come at me. The Grand Cultivator Battle Tai Shuzan has begun. Translator notes. All 7 fairy tales have roots in Korean Chinese folk tales. For example, the goblin's hat in the appearance of a tangjin is from a traditional Korean folk tale of a poor man who got a goblin's hat that allowed his body and other objects that would identify him to become invisible. The man would then use the invisibility to steal from others to gain wealth. Chapter 332, Old Monsters Rampage 1. Pot. A beam of light engulfs everything. Jun Jae is renowned, a genius who reached the integration stage in just 5,000 years. A prodigy of metal Jin attribute methods, and, along with Hun Won and Gal Mike, a monster symbolizing the human race's martial prowess. Quaggijijijik. Golden scales sprout all over Jun Jae's body as he swings his hand at me. Thud. I neutralize the power with the All-Heaven Sword, contain Jun Jae's force within it, and then use that very power to repel Jun Jae. He makes an irritated expression and reaches out towards me. Quaggijik. Exclamation mark quote. As if space itself twists, I suddenly find myself caught in Jun Jae's grasp. Simultaneously, Gal Mike, clad in pure white bone armor from head to toe, descends upon me from above. I twist my body in midair, positioning Jun Jae's body in front of Gal Mike, and quickly retreat to escape his grip. Kwang. Jun Jae fails to dodge Gal Mike's attack in time, and Gal Mike strikes him. An enormous shockwave seems to echo, and Jun Jae's body plummets through Heavenly Human Island, crashing into the ground below. Egu, that must hurt. The next moment, Gal Mike rushes at me while extending their fist. It'll be dangerous if that hits. Thud, thud. In a split second, I slash their elbow with my sword and infuse an energy wave. I then strike their palm to maximize the force of the energy wave through their elbow. Kwang. Their arm explodes in midair before it can even touch me. Kwang. Ku. However, despite not making direct contact, the sheer resulting pressure blasts me out of Heavenly Human Island. Gal Mike. Kua. They roar like a beast, infusing energy into the bone armor that envelops their entire body. A tail made of bone sprouts from the armor. Claws resembling those of a beast emerge from the bone armor on their arms. Gal Mike, a late integration stage loose cultivator, is, like Hun Won and I, a heaven and earth dual cultivation practitioner. Due to this, they are considered on par with Grand Perfection integration cultivators like Jun Jae, making them one of the representatives of the human race's martial prowess, that is Gal Mike. Their self-created heaven and earth dual cultivation method, Bone Armor Treasured Origin Art Gu Jia Bao Yuan Gong, is notorious for extracting the bones of defeated enemies, storing them within their body, and fusing them with their own body when needed. It's a bizarre technique where until their bone armor is completely shattered, it's almost impossible to inflict any wounds on them. But perhaps furious over their arm being destroyed by my earlier attack, they gather strength in their entire body and prepare to leap at me. Just as I'm about to take my stance, an overwhelming force presses down on me. Quadudududuke. Jun-jae. From below Heavenly Human Island. Jun-jae, who had been driven into the ground by Galmike's strike, re-emerges and presses down on me with his strength. How sturdy, to be unscathed after taking a strike from a heaven and earth dual cultivation practitioner. As I think this, Galmike leaps at me again, swinging their bone-armored hand. Kwang! A tremendous force strikes my body. But in the next moment, Galmike emits a startled intent. Wo Wang! It's because of my hand gripping their arm. From my forearm, which begins to shine with starlight, an immense force erupts. Simultaneously, ghostly energy surges from my entire body, revealing 19 heads. Tuck, tuck tuck. Blood tears fall from each of the 19 heads, blooming into black blood tears flowers. Realizing something is wrong, Galmike tries to pull away, but I grip their arm tightly, nearly crushing it as I speak. Where do you think you're going? Kia, you ah, hoo ah. As the black blood tears flowers bloom, unbearable screams fill heaven and earth. Galmike, realizing the danger, cuts off their bone armor like a lizard shedding its tail and barely escapes the range of my curse. Qua! The bone armor quickly rots and melts away under the power of the curse. Chijijijik. Circuits are engraved all over my body. Quagijijik. Once again, Jun-jae tries to restrain me from afar, pressing me down with his attraction force. I look at Jun-jae and step into the air. Pong! In the next moment, I'm right in front of Jun-jae. With the all-heavens sword overlaid on my arm, I swing at him with all my might. Kugwagwagwang. The ground trembles. Below Heavenly Human Island, in the valley where the Grand Nirvana Temple is located, I see a nascent soul stage cultivator screaming and running away with all her might. The ground cracks in several places, and the mountains and fields are being reshaped. Qua! Shockwaves spread throughout the entire Cloud Island archipelago that's covered in mist and clouds, tearing the clouds into a circular pattern. Single quote. Sturdy. However, I frown as I see Jun-jae standing there unfazed despite taking my full-powered strike. A golden armor encases Jun-jae's body like scales. And from that armor emanates a magnetic field. Did he use the magnetic field as armor to diffuse the impact? Those who practice metal attribute methods have a much stronger attraction force than others. Among the 5 elements, metal is expressed by Qian, and Dui in the 8 trigrams. Qian is yang, so in yin-yang, yang energy or light guang is synonymous with metal. In the 5 elements, earth is expressed by the Kun trigram and the Gen trigram, meaning ground and mountain. In the 5 elements, wood is represented by the Gen trigram and the Shuan trigram, meaning lightning and wind. Ground and mountain, lightning and wind are all recognized attributes. Then what does the Dui trigram represent? Dui represents a pond. In short, it signifies a pond attribute. So some might wonder, what on earth does pond attribute mean? Quagijijijik. Kurg. Utilizing the immense magnetic force derived from the metal attribute, Jun-jae directs an overwhelming gravitational force onto me. Quadudududuk. The ground caves in, and in an instant, the place where I stand turns into an enormously deep basin. Just add water, and it becomes a pond. The Dewey trigram, in other words, the pond attribute, is just an indirect way to describe the magnetic force of the metal attribute. I'll turn you into a meatball, you Heart Tribe spy. Wanting to turn me into a Seo Un-yun meatball, Jun-jae's gravity concentrates on a single point. However, I lift my 19 heads and ignite ghost fire. Flinch. Jun-jae recoils at my fierce gaze. Kugugugik. From the depths of the enormous gravitational pit, I begin climbing up by digging my hands into the pit walls. Crazy. He's moving within that. This monster-like guy. Kwang. Galmike lands beside Jun-jae. Focusing their strength on their bone armor, they transform it. Crunch. The shape of their bone armor changes. Galmike, who has transformed their bone armor into a muscular beast-like form, nods at Jun-jae. Alright, go ahead. Ah, hold on. At that moment, Wee Ryong-son and Wee Su arrive at the scene using the flying escape technique. Wee Su appears to be casting some sort of spell on Galmike's bone armor. Accepting Wee Su's spell, Galmike nods and drops down into the basin below. Kuong. They extend both feet towards me trying to climb up, kicking me in the face. I try to withstand it, but in the end, I fall back down into the basin. Galmike cracks their neck from side to side and says, "Come at me, you spy. Haha, so you're confident in your raw strength too, huh?" Keying. The circuit begins to run fiercely as it begins to glow. My 19 heads illuminate as my entire body is covered in starlight. We each take a step towards each other. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With each step, my foot sinks into the ground due to Junjay's gravity. And finally, when we reach in front of each other, warurururu, Wee Ryong Son swings his fan, turning the basin below into a sea of fire. Simultaneously, Wee Su blows wind downwards like a bellow, creating an immense inferno in the basin below. It's a flame that could burn an ordinary 4-axis stage cultivator's very soul. But I smirk. What's this? Bathwater. For someone like me, whose soul is already being roasted by karmic fire, this heat is no more than lukewarm tea. Though my skin is blistering and cooking, it doesn't hurt much, so I just laugh in Galmike's direction. They appear unaffected by the flames, likely protected by Wee Su's spell. Seeing my nonchalance, they burst into a hollow laugh as if feeling incredulous. ... Crazy bastard, do you not feel pain? As if. Boong. I swing my fist at Galmike. The bone armor around their head is sliced off. Galmike regenerates their bone armor and swings their fist towards me as well. Pop. One of my heads shatters, and I'm left with a wound from Galmike's punch. They squint at the sword wound, looking annoyed through the gaps of their bone armor. Damn Heart Tribe brat, you practice heaven and earth dual cultivation, yet you're so fragile. Boong. I swing my hand at them again. Quack. A sword wound etches itself onto Galmike's body. We exchange blows. No matter how much we accelerate, the insane gravity slows our movements, making it inevitable that we get hit. I inflict sword wounds on them, and they shatter my heads. Crack. Ho. It seems that Wee Ryong Son's flames are not meant to roast me but to deplete the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy, as no more spiritual energy is flowing in. On the other hand, Galmike in front of me still looks vigorous because they have a lot of heaven and earth spiritual energy stored within their body. Next, Ung Yian and Gai Jin join the fray from above. Kugugugugu. Ung Yian's Dharma treasure, the heaven-earth demon subduing pagoda, falls from the sky. Kuong. The heaven-earth demon subduing pagoda grows enormous, increasing its weight over my head as if trying to crush me to death. Gai Jin takes out a cauldron-shaped Dharma treasure and opens its lid. Chuarurururuk. The liquid contained in the cauldron spills into the basin. Chualalalak. In an instant, the entire basin is filled with the stench of decay. Fungus Jun. Gai Jin's spell, said to be developed by stealing the secret arts of the fungal bone race of the 6 major heaven tribe races, spreads throughout the basin, and purple spores begin to sprout all over my body. The hyphae extend, sapping my strength while empowering Galmike. I can see Wee Ryong Son and Wee Su preparing another spell. If this continues, I might really be defeated. This is the power of the human race. This is the human race. When they combine forces, they can take down even a late integration stage cultivator in an instant. If Hun Wen was here, I would probably have been captured and turned into something like a Seo Unyun integration pill. No, even now, if they really start using their full power, it will be impossible to resist. But that's if they use their full power. You're not using your domains. I smirk, looking around with my 38 eyes. Though they appear calm at my words, their intents are greatly shaken. All of you are unleashing powerful attacks, trying to end this as soon as possible, isn't that right? Shut up, die. Galmike strikes at me again. Kuong. I finally can't hold out any longer and fall to my knees. The heaven-earth demon subduing pagoda presses down on me with even more force, and I am eventually crushed beneath it. As I lay pinned, I sense the integration stage grand cultivators gathering their strength, each preparing a powerful strike. The heaven-earth demon subduing pagoda becomes semi-transparent, crossing onto a higher plane. Their attacks will penetrate through the pagoda and strike me. However, I smirk. Impressive. Countless beams of light head towards me. Woo-doo-dook. Forcing my hands to move, I infuse them with black and white energy. The barrier of yin-yang and the 5 elements wraps around me. And then, an explosion of light erupts within the basin. Jun Jae is panting heavily. Did we finish him? We should have. No matter what, there's no way he can withstand the full power attacks of integration stage grand cultivators. Wee Ryong Son wipes the sweat from his forehead as he speaks. Damn, I only used my strength for a while and I'm already this exhausted. It's because you overexerted yourself trying to find information to avoid the end and ended up staring directly at the true immortal. You were too greedy. But once this injury heals, all the surviving integration stage grand cultivators of the Heaven tribe will gain powerful lightning divine powers, so it wasn't just greed. The only races where all the grand cultivators survived after staring directly at the true immortal are the tall tree race and our human race. That is also true. While they are chatting, Su moves her hand. The wind blows, clearing the dust cloud. Standing tall in the dust is Gal Mike, still clad in their bone armor. Cultivator Gal, please retrieve the spy's body and soul. We'll interrogate him further at the Grand Cultivator meeting. But to think that someone from the human race learned both the heaven and earth dual cultivation method and the heart path method, he's quite the genius. Even so, given that he learned the heart path method, he must have been influenced by Jang Ik. His ideologies are definitely contaminated, so we must purify his thoughts through suggestion and bring him back as a proper member of the Heaven tribe. Jun Jae converses with Wei Ryong Son, then glances back at Gal Mike in the basin. Fellow cultivator, just what are you? Then, Gal Mike's voice is heard. Run ah. The next moment, the bone armor covering Gal Mike shatters, revealing a blood-soaked woman with white hair and red eyes collapsing to the ground. Cultivator Gal Mike. Jun Jae is startled and tries to fly to her. However, a monstrous being of starlight with 19 heads emerges from within the dust cloud, laughing. If this were a prolonged battle, I would have surely lost, but it seems everyone's condition is rather poor, seeing that you are all reluctant to even deploy your domains. You bastard. Kugugugek. Jun Jae once again emits a magnetic field, pressing down on Seo Eun-yun. However, the gravitational force is far weaker than before. Seo Eun-yun, crossing his arms, speaks. Earlier, I had no choice but to respond since you all attacked me. But continuing this fight is meaningless. I wish to sit in the position of a human race grand cultivator. Considering that everyone's condition has deteriorated after facing that being, wouldn't it be mutually beneficial to accept me, a late integration level force as a grand cultivator? At that statement, Wei Ryong Son, Su, and Jun Jae simultaneously glare. Nonsense. You're asking us to accept a Heart Tribe spy as a grand cultivator of the human race Grand Alliance. Am I not part of the human race? In theory, the Heaven tribe can master all three methods of heaven, earth, and heart, so why this discrimination? Ha! The ones who are born amidst unspeakable abuse and torment are the Heart tribe, and the same goes for the human race. In theory, the Heaven tribe can master all three methods, but any human who learned the Heart Path method would be influenced by the Heart tribe's ideology. They would go around denying slavery and engaging in absurd liberation movements. How can we trust them? Is that so? Clicking his tongue at Jun Jae's attitude, Seo Eun-yun grabs Gal Mike, who collapsed before him, by the neck and lifts her up. Though Seo Eun-yun says nothing, Jun Jae glares at him with rage in his eyes. You vile, taking a hostage. No. Seeing Gal Mike captured, Wei Ryong Son and Su also close their eyes tightly. Leader, we have no choice. For now, we should accept that monster's proposal. Cultivator Gal Mike's life is at stake. Vile Heart Tribe bastard. No, wait, I haven't even said anything. In the end, Jun Jae clenches his eyes shut, deciding to protect Gal Mike from the mad Heart Tribe spy monster who walks around with the heads of 18 4-axis stage cultivators of the human race on his shoulders. Fine, I will allow you to take the position of a grand cultivator. However, you may not interfere in the affairs of the human race Grand Alliance, holding only the title. No place will be given to you on Heavenly Cauldron Mountain, and all resources allocated to you must be used by you alone. If we find any indication that you are transferring resources of the human race to the Heart Tribe territory, you will be arrested and put on trial immediately. If you cannot accept this, we will end you even at the cost of cultivator Gal Mike's life. I accept, but if you accept, then hand over the hostage immediately. The Human Race Grand Alliance, exchanging Gal Mike who was taken as a hostage, ultimately accepts Seo Eun-yun as a grand cultivator. Chapter 333, Old Monsters Rampage 2. I sigh after somehow receiving the title of Grand Cultivator. The difficulty has increased so much since the disappearance of Tae Yal Jaeon. Moreover, if the title of Grand Cultivator is something that makes the Human Race Grand Alliance so wary, it's almost as if there's no point in even having it. Nevertheless, had I stayed still, the integration stage Grand Cultivators who received word from Hunwon would have continued to pursue me. By obtaining the Grand Cultivator qualification, I managed to prevent that from happening, and for now, that is enough to be satisfied with. I use the voice transmission talisman to contact Hong Fan. Hong Fan, come to the area below Heavenly Human Island with Jaeon Myung-hoon. I wait for Hong Fan while recovering my spiritual power in the basin created by Jun Jae. Since I've become a Grand Cultivator again, the next steps are simple. First, rescue Kim Yeon, and then, either by kidnapping Kang Min-hee or by some other means, prevent her from going berserk as the ghost guiding Holy Mother. Also, I have some questions for Yi and Wei. At that moment, lightning flashes. Kurururung. As if the red lightning is wriggling, Jaeon Myung-hoon descends with his arms crossed in front of me. Looks like you've done something incredible again. He clicks his tongue while looking around. I'm quite the busy person. Anyway, I look at Jaeon Myung-hoon's feet. He has 6 shadows. You've almost fully learned the 6 extremes Yin Thunder body. Yeah, I've mastered the lightning path part, but the curse and ghost path parts are difficult, so I haven't fully grasped them. The 6 extremes Yin Thunder body is a devilish art that combines the curse method, ghost path method, and the lightning path method. It involves infusing ghostly energy into one's nascent soul through the 6 symbols of curses: violent death, disease, worry, poverty, evil, and weakness. By interpreting the ghostly energy in the life force within oneself as yin and yang, yin lightning is then formed. This is the essence of the 6 extremes Yin Thunder body. However, if one has already practiced the lightning path method, it is said that you only need to taint the internal lightning energy with the curse symbols to convert it into yin lightning. Yin lightning is originally formed through curses and ghostly energy, but Jaeon Myung-hoon is cultivating the 6 extremes Yin Thunder body in a peculiar way by somehow first generating yin lightning and then forming curses and ghostly energy based on it. How does he even do that? I click my tongue at the absurdity of the heavenly golden thunder body and speak. I'd like to explain our plan going forward. What is it? For now, our basic goal is to advance our cultivation. In the process, let's gather our colleagues like Kim Yeon, Kang Min-hee, and Oh Yun-sok. What about Deputy Oh Hi-co? I have some information on her. She's currently doing well, so there's nothing to worry about. Well, if you say so, it should be fine. I explained to Jaeon Myung-hoon what we need to do. I'll rescue Kim Yeon. You go rescue Yun-sok Hung-nim. I mean, the chief. He's in the True Devil realm right now, and the Grand Cultivators of the True Devil realm should currently be pushing against the human race. He should be retreating, so assist Hung-nim's retreat as quickly as possible. How quickly? There's a high probability that the Black Dragon King Hyeon-eum will call upon something to descend into the True Devil realm. Do it as quickly as possible before he enters. Of course, I can handle the Black Dragon King if he arrives, but, better safe than sorry. If the Black Dragon King doesn't come, there's no need for Azure Tiger Saint to sacrifice himself. Well, got it, I'll do that. Good, then I'll rescue Kim Yeon in a little while. Hong Fan, come with me for a moment. There's something I need to confirm with you. Yes, understood. After asking Jaeon Myung-hoon to rescue Oh Yun-sok, I take Hong Fan out of the basin. Follow me. Pot. Using the ground shrinking technique, I take Hong Fan towards the place where the woman from the Grand Nirvana Temple had fled earlier. Pot, how many dozen li do we cover? I finally detect her presence. The woman from the Grand Nirvana Temple had used the Earth Escape technique to hide about 200 li away from the battlefield between me and the Grand Cultivators. Kugugik. I use attraction force to pull her out from where she's hiding underground. Heek. Seniors, please spare me. Even if you turn me into a pill, my cultivation in Buddhist family methods won't help in increasing your realm. Quote. As soon as she's pulled to the surface and is emitting attraction force, she collapses and screams in terror. Her reaction is vastly different from the boldness of the previous life's Tae Yal Jaeon. I look at Hong Fan and ask, Hong Fan, what do you think of this woman? Hong Fan strokes his beard as he looks at her, then glances up at me with a puzzled expression. She's a woman that smells. It seems she doesn't wash. Quote. Question mark. Ah, I apologize. Is Master perhaps considering taking her as a concubine? Sha, I feel a chill run down my spine for some reason. Hong Fan's reaction has changed. Quote. Hong Fan, yes, don't you have any other thoughts? She seems to have cultivated some kind of Buddhist family method, and the spiritual power of that method looks a bit unusual. Quote. He seems completely uninterested. Hong Fan is treating her like an inanimate object. No, not that. When you look at this woman, do you not feel anything like wanting to marry her or suddenly confessing your love? I ask, observing Hong Fan closely. However, Hong Fan responds with a rather dumbfounded expression. Master, no matter if it is your will, marriage is a significant event in life, so. Quote. Aren't your views on marriage different from those of humans since you're a centipede demon? Upon hearing that Hong Fan is a centipede demon and our conversation about marriage, the woman from the Grand Nirvana Temple turns pale. Seniors, I don't know which part of me is appealing, but I do not have any confidence in satisfying a centipede demon senior. Please, let me go. Her reaction is also different. In the previous life, even though she didn't accept Hong Fan's courtship, she still blushed and felt a flutter in her heart. However, this life's her is genuinely terrified and repulsed at the thought of marrying a centipede demon. And Hong Fan, seeing her expression, frowns as if he also finds her displeasing. Quote. I apologize, Master. Even though I am a centipede, having spent so much time with you, I have been greatly influenced by the human race's concepts. And above all, the smell is too off-putting. Even if you told me to eat her. Hey, please don't eat me. Quote. Even if you told me to eat her, the smell would make me spit her out. Master, you don't really intend to marry me to her, do you? Hong Fan and the women of the Grand Nirvana Temple look at me with desperate eyes. Seniors, I am a committed single, and I have decided not to get married. Besides, as you already know, my body is smelly and I'm very lazy. I can't even do anything. Quote. Master, you may find it funny coming from a centipede, but I really want to make a loving connection and get married, so that one is a bit. I nod, holding my head. I understand. I wasn't telling you to get married. Thank you, Senior. Thank you, Master. Only then do the two bow to me with joy. Quote. Well, since we're here anyway, show me some of your Buddhist family methods. Buddhist family methods? Yes, the ones left in the Grand Nirvana Temple. Oh, as it happens, I brought all my possessions with me during the natural disaster, so I have them right here. She uses the earth escape technique to pull up a bundle from underground. Single quote. How poor must you be to not even have a storage scroll? I click my tongue as I watch her packing her belongings into a bundle like a mortal from the lower world, without even a common storage magic artifact. It seems that everything she owns is in that small bundle. As she rummages through the bundle, she pulls out 3 jade slips that are worn and frayed from use. Quote. I examine the jade slips with a stiff face. They're different. These methods are different from the Buddhist family methods I learned in my past life, which could be cultivated up to the integration stage. These ones are methods that reach their limits at the grand perfection nascent soul stage. Of course, names like the 7 brilliances kings remain the same. The golden body heavenly king, red bead extinguishing heavenly king, lapis lazuli protecting heavenly king, silver basket heavenly king, tridacna vast cold heavenly king, obsidian demon heavenly king, along with the concept of the future king. And the symbols they represent match the explanations given by Tae Yal Jaeon. But I find something odd. Hey, what happens to the 7 brilliances kings after they save all sentient beings? Ah, are you referring to the 7 brilliances kings? What was it? Seemingly unable to recall the content of the Buddhist family methods she learned, she scratches her head in thought. As I frown, Hong Fan threatens. Her in front of me. Do you not see the master is curious? Speak quickly. She shrinks and speaks as if she just remembered. I apologize. The 7 brilliances kings, after saving all sentient beings, are said to shed their forms within the lotus. Shed their forms within the lotus? What happens next? After that, there's no further transmission. Quote. What is the relationship between the future king and the 7 brilliances kings? I'm not sure. Crack. As veins bulge on my forehead, she speaks with a tearful face. Senior. It's not that I can't remember, I really haven't learned it. In the first place, the future king is merely a symbol personifying future hope and doesn't hold a significant place in Buddhist family methods. Well, depending on the region, there are stories passed down that the future king is the master, disciple, or relative of the 7 brilliances kings, or that they have no relation at all, but these are all baseless. There's not much interest in the relationship between the future king and the 7 brilliances kings. We just regard them as heavenly kings dedicated to their respective domains. Quote. No relationship, you say? Yes, that is what my master taught me. Quote. Then why did Tae Yaljaeon speak to me with such certainty about the future king? Are these all the methods of the Grand Nirvana Temple? Yes. Are there any methods that can reach the integration stage? Pardon. Haha, if there were, wouldn't I have already become a grand cultivator? Ah, I apologize. I didn't mean to be sarcastic to you, senior. She scratches her head and jokes, but quickly bows her head and shrinks back as Hong Fan sends a cold glare her way. These are all the methods passed down in the Grand Nirvana Temple. I've never even seen any methods that reach the integration stage. Alright, I understand. I need these Buddhist family methods for my study, so may I take them? It would be an honor, senior. It would be great if a cultivator of your high realm could master them. And, perhaps. And, if possible, could you accept me as your disciple? At those words, Hong Fan clicks his tongue and waves his hand. Master, in my opinion, this woman is smelly, seems to lack talent, and doesn't have the will. You should not accept her. Receiving Hong Fan's annoyance, she prostrates herself flat on the ground. I apologize. I have overstepped my boundaries. Then, since you're taking the Buddhist family methods, if you could at least mention that you got them from our Grand Nirvana Temple, please forget it. Now that I think of it, it seems presumptuous as well. Crack. Hong Fan, seemingly angry, lets out a breath of poisonous energy. Master, because you show mercy, this woman keeps trying strange things through you. Despite being lazy, untalented, and smelly, she is cunning and shameless in this manner. At Hong Fan's continued words, she looks like she is about to faint. It might even be better to kill her. It seems her attempt to use me to promote the Grand Nirvana Temple has seriously offended Hong Fan, who rarely shows such anger. Enough. Don't do that. I wave my hand. Though I don't like her trying to use me, I'm not angry because it seems she is trying to revive the Grand Nirvana Temple. I will speak well for your Grand Nirvana Temple, so don't worry. And this is payment for the Buddhist family methods. I throw her a storage magic artifact filled with spirit stones, and she prostrates herself in gratitude. I head towards the heavenly human island with Hong Fan, carrying the Buddhist family methods. I plan to go to Kim Yeon. The 8 grand cultivators became 7, and the 8 fairy tales became 7 as well. The 2 events are related. I grit my teeth. Just what is going on? I glance at Hong Fan, who is following me. Today, I am certain from the way Hong Fan treated her. Hong Fan didn't love the nun. He was infatuated with the entity that possessed that woman. Just who is the entity that impersonated Tae Yaljaeon, and why did Hong Fan go mad, even defying my orders to confess his love? And, if I had practiced those Buddhist family methods that reach the integration stage given to me by that being, what would have become of me? With these complex thoughts, I head towards the Mad Lord. Chapter 334. Old Monsters Rampage 3. Now, I'll go to the Mad Lord to rescue Kim Yeon, block the Black Dragon King and save Oh Yun Sok with Jaeon Myung-hoon, and finally, kidnap Kong Min-hee from the side path. After formulating my plan, I step onto the teleportation array to move to the area where the Mad Lord is currently located. Arriving at the teleportation array of a foreign race, I head towards the Mad Lord. Using the ground shrinking technique, I reach the Mad Lord's location far faster than before. At this rate, I won't need Jaeon Myung-hoon's returning lightning spell to escape. I wonder how long it would take to win in a direct confrontation with the Mad Lord. Pondering, I calculate my strength against the Mad Lord's. At this point, the Mad Lord's power is already on par with the Human Race Grand Alliance's Grand Cultivator Association. Not the injured and weakened Grand Cultivator Association, but the fully powered one. I should avoid a direct confrontation. I don't want to be captured and become General Seo for another 1,000 years. Being Emperor Seo is one thing, but being General Seo is a bit much. With these idle thoughts, I arrive near the wonderfully mysterious fortress and gather my spiritual power. Chuerik, Chuarurum. The spirit sealing bodkin spell wraps around my hands. Silver chains appear between my hands. Can this heal him? It had a temporary effect on Kong Min-hee. But somehow, I feel it would be useless. Can the Mad Lord's madness be compared to Kong Min-hee's? Of course, the cracks in Kong Min-hee's mind might grow larger and turn her into the ghost-guiding Holy Mother in the future, but at this point, the cracks aren't significant, so I can suppress them with the spirit-sealing bodkin. But the Mad Lord's madness is already at an advanced level. It could never be treated with just the spirit sealing bodkin. Of course, now that I can use heart essence, I have confidence that I can temporarily halt the Mad Lord's madness by striking at his heart essence. But that's all. It might have been more effective than the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace for Kong Min Hee, but for the Mad Lord, it's even less useful than the latter. That is the spirit sealing bodkin. Tisk, it's a shame. Feeling slightly regretful, I disperse the spirit sealing bodkin spell. Then, revealing my concealed presence, I move to the front of the wonderfully mysterious fortress and shout. Greetings, Elder. I am the one named Seo. I have something I wish to present to the Elder, hence I have come here. A familiar voice responds. Oh Tildamai, have you come to become General Seo? How admirable. I cover my left hand with the White Orchid Blessing incantation and my right hand with the Yin Soul Ghost incantation. Great Mountain. Flash. Splitting Emperor. Quagwagwagwagwa. Light explodes brilliantly. A massive hole is torn in one side of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The Mad Lord's circuits operate on the outside of the wonderfully mysterious fortress, using spiritual energy to set up multiple defensive formations. But the Great Mountain Splitting Emperor technique scatters chi itself into 7 parts. No matter how the energy is used for defense, it will just be dispersed. Perhaps it's because the Mad Lord's circuits and the Great Mountain Splitting Emperor technique are so incompatible. Thanks to that, I can see the Mad Lord inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, holding her hand and staring at me with a stunned expression. Quote. You bastard. How dare, how dare, how dare, how dare. The Mad Lord's eyes roll back and he begins to tear at his fingers wildly. She and other Grand Cultivator level puppets start crawling out of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. But I, with a blank expression, grasp the starting form with my eyes gleaming. All Heaven's Sword. Single strike. Not even she can stop it. This strike, fully immersed in the plane of soul, penetrates the Mad Lord's heart essence, momentarily suppressing his madness. This won't hold for long. I sense the sorrow, anger, pain, and love dormant inside the Mad Lord. The emotions are boiling chaotically, making it impossible to calm his heart essence through any means. All I can do is temporarily help him regain his sanity. While feeling this, I notice something strange in the Mad Lord's heart essence. Wait, it's strange. Is it because I have reached this realm and entered his heart essence? I can discern something. The Mad Lord, could it be? I grit my teeth as I sense the clue to the Mad Lord's madness. I also understand why Seo Weol couldn't cast the tainted soul filling the heavens on the Mad Lord. Quote. Have you entered within me? The Mad Lord, now rational, sits in the control room and senses my heart essence. Quote. Yes, but it won't last long. I figured, and if you've entered my heart, you must be feeling it now. Quote. Yes. Until now, I thought the Mad Lord was suffering from madness due to the influence of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Indeed, the Mad Lord was confirmed to be influenced by the wonderfully mysterious fortress to some extent. But today, I found out. Elder isn't suffering from madness because of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The Mad Lord gives a bitter smile at my words. It's merely my karma. You need not concern yourself. Anyway, what's the reason for all this commotion you caused to come here? To take your disciple with me. At my words, the Mad Lord nods. I see. She seemed to be meeting someone in her dreams whenever she sleeps. That turned out to be you. The Mad Lord seems to know I met Kim Yeon in her dreams before, nodding his head. Take her, but be careful. I will eventually try to find that child again. Because my life's goal can only be realized through her. I will keep that in mind. And, looking into the Mad Lord's eyes, I speak. Until Yeon can achieve your goal with her own strength, I will nurture her. The Mad Lord's goal was Yeon's play. Kim Yeon operating the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon with her vast consciousness to control the wonderfully mysterious fortress to activate Yeon's play as the Mad Lord's purpose. The Mad Lord nods and says, "Good, I entrust her to you." And, the Mad Lord takes out something resembling a magic artifact from his bosom and swiftly modifies it. That is, just like when the past life's Mad Lord imbued her arm with enlightenment, he is engraving enlightenment into that magic artifact. This is possible now because my higher realm allows the Mad Lord to remain sane for a longer period. The bee puppets bring Kim Yeon over. Eun-yun. Opa, Kim Yeon. As Kim Yeon looks at me in surprise, the Mad Lord speaks to her. This is something I can only say now that my mind is clear, so I will say it now. She seems bewildered, finding strange the sight of the sane Jo Yeon's appearance. Zhou Yian hands her the magic artifact imbued with enlightenment and says, I'm sorry for everything until now. From now on, be happy. No more words are needed. He is already relapsing into madness, and everything necessary is contained in that magic artifact. I approach Kim Yian, put my arm around her shoulders, and bow to Zhou Yian. Thank you. Now then, before Kim Yian can fully grasp the situation, I use the ground shrinking technique to leave the place. Zhou Yian is reverting to the Mad Lord. There's no more time to waste. Pot. Using the ground shrinking technique, the flying escape technique, all heaven's sword, gliding technique, and every other movement technique I know of, I flee from the Mad Lord. Covering thousands of li in an instant, I feel the heart essence avatar I implanted in the Mad Lord being torn apart by his raging mob-like madness. The Mad Lord has completely returned. But the distance is too great for him to continue pursuing. Out of all the times I rescued Yian before, this is the safest rescue. Kim Yian, still slightly bewildered by the sudden turn of events, blinks her large eyes. Yian, are you confused? Finding her expression somewhat amusing, I chuckle and ask, is this a dream? I gently pinch the still dazed Kim Yian's cheek, and together board the teleportation array to Heavenly Human Island. This isn't a dream. Now then, shall we go to Black Ghost Valley and take a look at the side path? Having rescued Kim Yian, it's time to save Kong Minhee. Earth Tribe, True Dragon Alliance, Serving Command Arc. The hidden layer of the Serving Command Arc. There, a kindly smiling sea dragon cultivator and a woman in white clothes with a smile are playing a game of Go. So, what is it that you want me to help with? The woman in white, Oh Hi Seo, asks with a smile to the sea dragon cultivator, Seo Weol. It's nothing much. I just need you to investigate the past of a person I'm monitoring. Oh my, wasn't the only person you've asked for something like that the one called the Mad Lord? Ho ho, it's because something beyond my control was born, so I'm curious about what went wrong. Ah ha ha, well, it figures. From what I've heard of the person called the Mad Lord, there is no one as invincible as him. To the point even our Grand Prince can't handle him. Oh Hi Seo giggles cheerfully and places a stone. Seo Weol blocks her move with a smile. So, will you grant my request? Well, sure. Who is it? Seo Weol smiles gently at her words and forms a hand seal. Wu Wang. Someone's face appears before Oh Hi Seo's eyes like an illusion. It's a terminal attached to that person. It's in a rather risky location, so it could scatter at any time, but it seems he hasn't noticed it yet. Please look into his past through this. Oh Hi Seo's eyes widen upon seeing the face. Oh my, isn't this someone I know? You want to know about his past? Yes. Seo Eun-yun, is someone you fear. Oh Hi Seo explains Seo Eun-yun to Seo Weol. She outlines roughly what kind of person he is, his past, his likes and dislikes, his medical history, how many times he visited the dentist, his military service role, the schools he attended, and what was written in his student record. Seo Weol inquires about the unfamiliar concepts and learns about Seo Eun-yun. Well, anyway, that's the kind of person he is. Just an ordinary guy, nothing worth paying much attention to. He's just a mortal who is really serious about eating. Ho ho, I see. This has been very helpful. Seo Weol concludes after listening to Oh Hi Seo's story from beginning to end. Most likely, the Seo Eun-yun, you know, is already dead. Oh no, how unfortunate. Oh Hi Seo clicks her tongue and blocks Seo Weol's path, who then captures Oh Hi Seo's stone and continues speaking. His body was most likely taken over by some high-ranking entity. Perhaps his memories, soul, and fate have all been seized. The current Seo Eun-yun that exists is not your colleague but an unknown anomaly. Be careful, Miss Hi Seo, as you are not yet aware of the true existence of such mythical beings. Be cautious, and be cautious again. Oh, come on, you say that, but you're secretly hoping I mess with the anomaly and get ruined, right? Since that would make it easier to brainwash me, wouldn't it? Ho ho, I hold no such thoughts at all. I think I'm starting to understand your way of speech, Grand Prince. Oh Hi Seo rolls her eyes at Seo Weol, and Seo Weol seizes the opportunity to completely block her path while she's distracted to seize her territory entirely. By the way, didn't you say you were colleagues? You seem to know an excessive amount of information about this Seo Eun-yun. Is Miss Hi Seo's hometown originally a place where information flows so freely? Oh my, you know me, Grand Prince. That I'm quite thorough. I know everything about my colleagues. Especially a younger junior I doted on. I even found out how many wisdom teeth they had pulled, the shape of those teeth, and the exact length of their toenails when they cut them. Ho ho. As expected, it's one of your personal hobbies. Yes, well, something like that. But it's quite sad that it's so hard to get to know you, Grand Prince. Could you share some of your past with me? I told you last time, didn't I? Born as the son of the previous Sea Dragon King, Seohee. Come on, I know all of that is a lie. And you're not even Seohee's son. That body isn't even your original one. Aren't you much older? Seo Weol and Oh Hai Seo continue their chat with friendly smiles, and Oh Hai Seo at some point reaches her hand into the illusion Seo Weol has shown her. A Taiji symbol appears in her eyes. Suddenly, Oh Hai Seo smiles inwardly. Oh my, you just rescued Yian. And what's this? Those actions, aren't they exactly the same as before? Every small habit, mannerism, way of speaking, and the way the corners of his mouth lift when he laughs are all the same. And yet, possessed by an anomaly. She places another stone in Seo Weol's territory while cutting off his path, her eyes shining. What nonsense. That's definitely Seo Eun-yun. I don't know why he became something like an anomaly, but since all 7 of us gained strange powers, it must be due to that. She smiles inwardly, seeing he rescued Kim Yian, and there's no way that dull guy will know Kim Yian's thoughts, he must be planning to gather all his colleagues. Oh Hai Seo forms a plan. I need to look for an opportunity and make contact with Seo Eun-yun. Seo Eun-yun also seems to be against Seo Weol, so if I say I was captured by Seo Weol, he'll rescue me, right? Should I maybe play a double agent between Seo Eun-yun and Seo Weol? Both sides look fun. She decides to approach Seo Eun-yun soon, choosing to align herself with whoever piques her curiosity the most. And Seo Weol, observing her, smiles faintly. Ah, Grand Prince. I won. You didn't see that move coming, did you? Ho ho, indeed, I can't match you, Miss Hai Seo. After returning to Heavenly Human Island with Kim Yian, I register her at Temporal Fate Island and head with her to the entrance to the True Devil Realm. I plan to either wait for the Black Dragon King to arrive or for Oh Yun-sok to be rescued before heading to Black Ghost Valley to take Kong Min-hee. Kim Yian looks at me for a moment and then asks. Eun-yun Oppa. Yes, what is it, Yian? You said, you're going to Black Ghost Valley, right? Black Ghost Valley, that's where Min-hee went, isn't it? And, Kim Yian hesitates for a moment as if gathering courage, then asks resolutely. Are you going to see Min-hee? I think for a moment about how to respond, then realize what she means. You already know. Ah, that's because, when Min-hee said she supports me. Kim Yian, having been caught immediately, lowers her head slightly in embarrassment. I shake my head and say, I'm not going because I miss Kong Min-hee. I just have something to do there. She's just an ex-girlfriend. Is that so? Yes. Eun-yun Oppa. Yes. You're rescuing Min-hee and me for the same reason, aren't you? What do you mean? I feel a slight sense of foreboding as I ask. Kim Yian gives a bitter smile and says. When you said you were going to rescue Min-hee, you showed the same intent as when you rescued me. Ah, it seems that I, thinking I already rescued Kim Yian, relaxed a bit and let my intent show. But if you showed the same intent when rescuing Min-hee as you did when rescuing me, and if you think of Min-hee as just an ex-girlfriend. Her next words hit me like a blow to the back of my head. Are you treating me with the same feelings as you would an ex-girlfriend? Chapter 335, Old Monsters Rampage 4. I'm momentarily frozen, unsure of what to say, and my mouth just opens and closes silently. Seeing me like that, Kim Yian gives a bitter smile. I finally thought you were accepting my feelings. I've always liked you. And when we met in the dreams, you were giving me intensive affection, so that's what I believed. Surik, she stands up from her seat. But it was my misunderstanding. I don't know why, but Eun-yun Oppa, you're seeing someone else in me, aren't you? I can't say anything, my face hardening. Seeing someone else. Yes, that's true. In a way, it isn't the current Kim Yian that I saved and liked, but rather, it's the Kim Yian from my time with the Mad Lord whose heart I was given that I was trying to love through the current Kim Yian. But in the end, it seems I was deceiving myself as well. I'm sorry. I apologize to Kim Yian. And I make up my mind. Let's tell her. Even though it's difficult to explain things related to the regression, I decide to tell her everything I can tell her. There was someone before, other than Kong Min-hee, who liked me. I tell her about the past cycles Kim Yeon. I refer to the name Kim Yeon simply as her. The 1,000 years are generalized as a very long time, but it doesn't hinder conveying the meaning. We sit on a hill in front of the entrance to the true devil realm, talking. And I finally tell her everything about the past cycles Kim Yeon. That's the end of it. She died. She met me at the end, and conveyed her heart to me. And I might be projecting her onto you. Quote. So that's why. Kim Yeon nods her head. Now I understand why you felt the emotion of longing towards me. A brief silence lingers between us after that. After a while, Kim Yeon asks, Unyun Oppa. She hesitates for a while, as if struggling with her words. But despite that, she closes her eyes tightly and asks, quote. You know, right, that I like you. With her face flushed red, she buries her face in her knees as she speaks. I give a bitter smile. Quote. Yeah. Quote. For a while, an intent that's hard to put into words flows between us. Quote. You don't have any intention of accepting me, do you? I'm silent for a long time. I hadn't expected her to delve in so quickly. Through her question, I discover feelings within myself that I hadn't known before. I love the Kim Yeon of that cycle, but the current Kim Yeon, I don't love her. She is still just a cute junior to me. Quote. I see. Haha. I'm glad I asked. Kim Yeon seems to fall silent for a moment, then speaks. To be honest, I thought we were dating. When you spoke to me in the dreams, it was difficult to distinguish intent, and you radiated an intent of longing for me, always talking to me, comforting me, laughing with me, and keeping me company. You even stormed in to save me from the Mad Lord. Kim Yeon smiles. She smiles brightly. If you hadn't told me, I might have ended up with a really strange misunderstanding. Hee. Surik. Kim Yeon stands up from her seat. Thank you for being honest with your feelings. If you had lied to comfort me, I might have ended up in a weirder state. She turns her back to me. And while facing away, she speaks. I have a goal now, Deputy CO Unyun. I try to say something, but no words come out. I can't think of what to say. I'm going to keep confessing to you. I'll keep confessing my love again and again, until you truly fall for me. She rubs her face and then turns back to look at me. I like you, Deputy CO Unyun. Kim Yeon is crying. There are no tears, but she's crying with a dark blue intent. I hesitate for a moment, but seeing that intent, I make up my mind. I will no longer waver. Okay, I don't have feelings for this life's Kim Yeon as a lover or a romantic partner. Let's acknowledge that. And let's also acknowledge that Kim Yeon will endlessly keep sending her heart to me. If her heart doesn't break, my heart might eventually fall. No, in fact, it has already fallen several times. To Buk Hyung-hwa, to the Kim Yeon of the past cycle. To Hong Soo Ryong, I can't accept your heart today. Then I'll offer it again tomorrow. She hardens her gaze. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and the day after that. No matter how long it takes. Over and over again, I lock eyes with Kim Yeon for a while. Whatever it is, the eyes of someone with determination shines. She is shining. Do your best. People's hearts change, but sometimes, there are hearts that do not change. And those who maintain and refine such unwavering hearts, sometimes, they are reborn as a new kind of being with a new vision. Will she be able to push through with her heart? All I can do is cheer for Kim Yeon. I can't love her right now. That would be deceiving my own heart. But if time passes and she keeps sending her heart to me, then, I don't know. The relationship between Kim Yeon and I will change from now on. Until now, I've been deceiving myself into thinking I liked her. And she, too, had been under the strange illusion that we were dating. But at this moment, I revealed my genuine heart, and even though she heard my true feelings, she didn't give up and decided to start anew and push her heart towards me. I suddenly feel afraid of Kim Yeon. If that unyielding heart changes or fades away halfway through, it wouldn't be a big matter. But what if it doesn't change? If so, perhaps at some point, Kim Yeon would come to hold a very significant place within me. For me, cherishing someone is natural, but loving them is frightening. I have lost that love so many times right before my eyes and know how painful and heart-wrenching it is when love disappears. Yes, Kim Yeon would become my heart's greatest burden in the future. After sorting out our relationship in that way, time passes. Kugugugugu. Gigantic warships cross over from the entrance of the true devil realm. They are the remnants of the human race. Strangely, the Black Dragon King never appeared, allowing the human race army to come through unimpeded. And leading those remnants, Jaeon Myung-hoon catches my eye. Jaeon Myung-hoon returns with a calm face and speaks to me. I heard they were doing something as stupid as the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation, so I flipped the table. I killed a few of the top brass, but since they were all at the 4-axis stage, they'll resurrect on their own. Quote. You killed the top brass. Got a problem with that? They wouldn't listen even though I said we had to leave quickly, insisting that they had to activate the formation till the end. The Grand Cultivator Association might make a fuss, but since you're also a Grand Cultivator now, support me appropriately. I'm a bit taken aback by Jaeon Myung-hoon's seemingly reckless approach, but at the same time, it feels like something he would do. Well, you did well. Since those at the 4-axis stage can resurrect, I'm not concerned about their deaths. Killing a few of them to swiftly bringing out the human race was rather well done. And then, I am able to meet Oh Yun-sok shortly after. It's been a while, Co Eun-yun. It has been a while, Hung Nim. He speaks with a thoroughly exhausted face. Quote. A lot has happened, and, I heard you became a Grand Cultivator. Yes, haha, Jaeon Myung-hoon has grown unexpectedly, and you've become this strong already. Haha, I'm the only one lagging behind. For some reason, Oh Yun-sok is currently at the core formation stage. Jaeon Myung-hoon crosses his arms and explains. He was originally at the Grand Perfection Nascent Soul stage, reaching towards the Heavenly Being stage, but he suffered a critical injury while stopping the Devil Race's advance and his cultivation fell. Oh Yun-sok sighs. Quote. I've realized a lot. When I return to the Azure Heaven Creation sect, I plan to focus on improving my cultivation. This world truly is a place where you must have strength to live like a person. Indeed, I agree with Oh Yun-sok's words. However, I smile at his mention of returning to the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Instead of just going back to raise your realm, why not travel with us? I make a suggestion to Oh Yun-sok. In my past life, I failed to gather my colleagues. In this life, I have brought together Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, and Kim Yeon. Now, if I just call Kong Min-hee here, everyone who can be gathered in the current situation will be together. The primary goal in this life is to develop the canvas of myriad forms and connections. Thus, it's best to stay alongside talented colleagues and operate the canvas of myriad forms and connections. I also have the regret of not seeing my colleagues all together in my previous life. However, Oh Yun-sok shakes his head with a regretful expression. I'm sorry but, the training method of the Azure Heaven Creation sect is actually more efficient and powerful than any other sect. If I train there, I'll inevitably become much stronger. For now, I plan to get even stronger there using the most efficient methods first. Quote. The Azure Heaven Creation sect is indeed efficient. If you want to be with me, how about you join the Azure Heaven Creation sect instead? You don't have to become a disciple, you can stay as a guest. Quote. The Azure Heaven Creation sect does not have guests. No, there are those who want to become guests of the Azure Heaven Creation sect, but they all flee within 3 days. The longest lasting guest probably stayed for 7 days and nights, I believe. Moreover, since guests are not inner disciples, no one bothers to chase after them if they run away. Inner disciples, however, are pursued by their seniors with fire in their eyes for discipline if they run away. But if a guest decides to leave, what can you do? Anyway, the important thing is that the Azure Heaven Creation sect is not a place that leaves even guests alone. It's a place where even guests flee. If Kim Yeon or Jaeon Myung-hoon were to go, I guarantee they'd run away within 5 days. Of course, saying this outright would hurt feelings, so I soften my words. I apologize for saying this but, training with us would be more efficient than training at the Azure Heaven Creation sect. What do you mean by that? Well, isn't Azure Heaven Creation sect's Azure Tiger Saint at the 4-axis stage? That's right. At this point, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Kim Yeon, and I all possess power beyond the 4-axis stage. Also, I already have the qualifications of a Grand Cultivator of the Human Race Grand Alliance. I extend my hand to him. Honestly, it would be better for Yun-sok Hung Nim to train with us rather than at the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Moreover, I can obtain several methods that are perfect for Hung Nim. Please give it a thought. Well, if you really prefer the Azure Heaven Creation sect, there's nothing I can do. Oh Yun-sok says he will consider it, and after some idle chatter with everyone, I stand up. Then, since we're all gathered, shall we go look for Kong Minhee as well? Ah, she's at the Black Ghost Valley, right? Yes, let's head there. Cooing. After connecting my colleagues to me through attraction force, I take a step towards Black Ghost Valley. Pot. Using the ground shrinking technique, I arrive at Black Ghost Valley in an instant and am taken aback. In front of Black Ghost Valley, Ohio, dressed in pure white, is sitting on a nearby rock looking at me. Chapter 336, Old Monsters Rampage 5. What's that? It's definitely Ohio. But there's an odd sense of incongruity about her. I walk towards the entrance, keeping my face expressionless. It's definitely Ohio. However, there are no basic signs of life one would expect from a human, such as heartbeats or life waves. And there's no sensation of consciousness waves either. I see. It's a projection. I focus my consciousness on my surrounding colleagues. Strangely, none of my colleagues react to seeing Ohio. Considering how popular she was at the company, they should all be greeting her with delight for meeting after a long time. But this lack of reaction means only I can see her. Ah, I get it. I finally realize the source of the strange incongruity. The same sense as Kim Young-hoon. I can see her because I possess that perception. While Ohio originally has no intention of revealing herself to us, that very intention to do something is making her projection visible. How creepy. If I didn't have this sense, I too would have passed by without seeing her. For now, I control my entire body's reaction and walk towards the Black Ghost Valley, pretending not to notice her. Wo Wong. Clap. Ohio claps her hands with a smile. Immortal beast. Lustrous glaze peacock. Flash. A clear radiance bursts forth, causing a momentary dazed look in my colleague's eyes. I draw upon the canvas of myriad forms and connections from within. Perhaps because I faced the governing immortals and recognized the vanished entities in this cycle, by slightly operating the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I am able to resist the light of the lustrous glaze peacock. However, I pretend to be dazed to see what Ohio is trying to do. Immortal beast, yin ghost black turtle. Simultaneously, with the nether perception I acquired through the Great Desert to Dead Sea, I see the outskirts of the netherworld. The outskirts of the netherworld begin to ripple and transform in various places. Ohio. I sense what she is trying to do and consider whether to strike with the All-Heaven's sword. She is currently distorting the outskirts of the netherworld with the power of the yin ghost black turtle. The outskirts of the netherworld are located in a special plane that overlaps with this world. While they overlap, they are not completely the same, and they mutually influence each other. As the outskirts of the netherworld twist, reality distorts along with it. Through the senses of the Great Desert to Dead Sea, I can feel numerous ghosts screaming at the sudden calamity. Most ghosts have their main bodies in the outskirts of the netherworld, and what appears in reality is just a kind of projection. Of course, foolish ghosts below the level of ghost kings are mostly unaware that their main bodies are in the outskirts of the netherworld. In any case, the principle behind ghosts displaying supernatural phenomena like passing through objects is all due to their main bodies existing in another plane. Therefore, unless it's a power that can dispel the outskirts of the netherworld itself, like the force of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness, or a power that can transcend planes, it's originally difficult to harm ghosts. But Ohio is laying down some kind of formation across the entire Black Ghost Valley by manipulating the outskirts of the netherworld itself. At the same time, the light from the lustrous glaze peacock emitted by her is making a fool of not just us, but all the ghosts in the Black Ghost Valley. The terrified ghostly wails gradually subside, and only the stupid, woo-woo, sounds of ghosts echo. Probably all the humans in the Black Ghost Valley have become fools too. But I inwardly sneer. How crude. It's merely a supernatural power borrowed from an immortal beast, not deriving from the true ghost path method. In my eyes, it's just crude. Numerous thoughts arise on how to dismantle the formation she is laying, how to restore the outskirts of the netherworld she has twisted back to their original state, and how to use this to capture Ohio instead. My mind is bursting like fireworks. It would be very easy to twist the outskirts of the netherworld by using the attraction force of Great Desert to Dead Sea. A feeling I never had while learning martial arts or orthodox cultivation methods. It feels as if a bright path is visible before my eyes. Could it be because the root of Seo Lee's talent in devilish arts came from me? It's ridiculous. It seems so easy. I suppress a wry smile internally and maintain my neutral expression. Ohio lets us enter the Black Ghost Valley, and I decide to leave her alone for now. She appears to be plotting something, but I'm confident I can reverse her scheme and punish her properly when she takes action. What's this? Something feels strange. The first to sense the incongruity is the one with the vast consciousness, Kim Yeon. She tilts her head, seemingly aware that her mind had momentarily become dazed. However, Jaeon Myung-hoon and Oh Yun-sok look puzzled, not noticing at all, and I deliberately don't inform them. After a while, we encounter a gatekeeper on our way to the dock of the Nether Crossing ship. Grand Cultivator Seo Eun-yun is here to meet Kong Min-hee, a disciple of Black Ghost Valley. The gatekeeper Jeongshi is startled by my words, and they summon a ghost from their sleeve to send towards the Nether Crossing ship. Oh Yun-sok and Jaeon Myung-hoon slightly frown at the sight of the Jeongshi, but Kim Yeon, who has seen countless puppets, appears unfazed. Yes, Elder, I have sent a messenger ghost to the inner valley so a response will arrive shortly. Shortly after, two figures fly over from the direction of the Nether Crossing ship. It's the familiar Heo Gwak and Heo Ryong. Heo Ryong greets me with a slightly tense face, while Heo Gwak stares at me with an expression of incomprehension. Is there something on my face? Oh, no, my apologies. While he still has the look of incomprehension, he bites his lip and lowers his head. Now that I think about it, Senior must have been hiding your true cultivation back then. I was inexperienced and dared to be rude to you, Senior. Heo Gwak, seemingly thinking that I'm a monster who had hidden their cultivation, bows his head and apologizes for what happened at the Flying Immortal platform. He wouldn't believe me if I said I was really just at the nascent soul stage back then, would he? Rather, he would probably think I'm mocking him, so I just nod slightly. Alright, that's that. As you know, I've come to meet Kong Min-hee, the disciple of the Black Ghost Valley. Heo Ryong awkwardly smiles and speaks. Ahaha, Senior, I greatly apologize, but disciple Kong Min-hee is currently in secluded cultivation at the Black Ghost Valley's secret grounds. May I ask the reason you wish to meet her? It's nothing special, I just want to meet her because she's from my hometown. By the way, what's her current realm? Currently, that child has entered the heavenly being stage. I look at Heo Ryong and Heo Gwak. They're lying. Are they worried that I might take her away if I know her current cultivation realm? For now, just bring her here. If she's at the heavenly being stage, she should at least be able to send a clone, no. Even if she can't move due to her seclusion, she should be able to send a clone. Yes, of course, I will bring her in person, not just her clone. Heo Ryong signals to Heo Gwak with his eyes, who then quickly runs off to fetch Kong Min-hee. In the meantime, Heo Ryong leads us outside of the Nether Crossing ship to a flower garden at the highest peak of the Black Ghost Valley. Chechechesh. When we arrive, various beautiful flowers and plants are in full bloom, and there are no traces of ghostly energy or yin energy to be found. This is the perfect place to entertain guests. Following Heo Ryong's lead, we enter and sit in the pavilion at the center of the garden. Clap clap. At Heo Ryong's clap, beautifully adorned Jeongshi served us tea. First of all, welcome to the Black Ghost Valley, Sir Grand Cultivator Seo. I heard you recently became a Grand Cultivator. That's right. That's very impressive. The future of our human race has become even brighter. Heo Ryong flatters me, engaging in small talk for a while. Then, after a while, he subtly shifts the conversation to the main topic. By any chance, has Sir Grand Cultivator come to the Black Ghost Valley with regards to the matter acquiring your subordinate force? It really isn't for such a reason. I just came to meet Kong Min-hee, but it somehow seems like my actions are being explained that way. Let's talk more in detail after seeing Kong Min-hee. Ah, yes, yes. Of course. A little while later, Heo Gwak is flying over with a disciple at the heavenly being stage from afar. It's Kong Min-hee. I slightly frown at the sight. A clone. It appears they brought over the clone at the heavenly being stage instead of the main body as promised. Well, showing a disciple who reached the 4-axis stage in 100 years to a suspicious Grand Cultivator has no benefits. Soon, Kong Min-hee enters the pavilion. She seems to slightly bite her lips at the sight of me, then formally greets me from the opposite side. Greetings, Sir Grand Cultivator Seo Eun-yun. It's been a long time since we last met. I feel a slight bitterness at her formality and shake my head. Drop the formalities. And, I look at her and ask. If it's you, you must have noticed, right? It seems a loach has entered your sect. What are you going to do about it? Flinch. Kong Min-hee gives a sly smirk at my words. Rather than a loach, it's best a fly. And when it comes to flies, it's best to swat them down. As expected, she has also noticed Ohio-Seo's disruptions, her eyes gleaming. Even if Ohio-Seo spread the light of the lustrous glaze peacock, the Kong Minhee in front of me is just a clone controlled by the main body and hence wouldn't be affected. Heo Gwak and Heo Ryong look puzzled as if they can't follow our conversation, and I ask Kong Minhee another question. The fly is quite big, how do you plan to catch it at the heavenly being stage? You'd need at least the qualifications to handle attraction force. Kong Minhee's eyes glint at my words. And Heo Gwak and Heo Ryong, catching the hidden thorn in my words, flinch and shudder. I apologize, senior. We were too presumptuous. Please punish us. As expected of old monsters who have lived for at least thousands of years, they immediately kneel before me. But at the same time, they cleverly avoid mentioning Kong Minhee's main body being hidden, showing their cunning by seeking forgiveness first. Truly old monsters that can't be underestimated. Clicking my tongue, I ask. It seems something is wrong with your sect, and it appears only Cultivator Kong and I have noticed. As an outsider, I might cause reluctance if I interfere, so I will give you a chance. What will you do? At my words, the two exchange glances before looking at Kong Minhee. Kong Minhee seems to transmit a message, and after a while, their faces turn to shock. That happened. Why didn't we notice anything? Sweat starts dripping from their faces as they speak. If only you and Sir Grand Cultivator can sense it, we have no choice. We will open the gate for a moment, so come out, Minhee. Kong Minhee nods, and the two bow deeply to me in apology. We have overstepped. We confess our sin of daring to hide our disciple's realm from you, senior. Did I not say she was from the same hometown? I am well aware of Cultivator Kang's talent. She has always been someone exceptional. Kong Minhee seems to want to say something at my words, but glances at Heo Gwak and Heo Ryong before clamping her mouth shut again. Then I will open the gate. Kugugugak. Heo Ryong and Heo Gwak draw something like a formation on the spot, and attraction force begins to emanate. Kugugugugak. I thought she could only come out on days with strong yin energy, but it seems she can come out regardless with the combined strengths of two 4-axis Grand Elders. Soon, a rift in space opens in the middle of the pavilion, and an overwhelming chill spills out. Chua! The cold spreads out in a circle, and from the pitch-black darkness, a woman appears. Surik, clad in a black robe formed from the surrounding darkness, she turns her eyes burning faintly with blue ghost fire towards me. It's Kong Minhee. Chesh. Her clone at the heavenly being stage is absorbed by her main body as soon as she enters the bright cold realm, and I feel the outskirts of the netherworld quiver nearby. I smile slightly as I look at Kong Minhee's main body. It's been a while, colleague Kong. Ah, it really has been a while, Sir Grand Cultivator Seo. But since this is an official setting, I'd appreciate it if you could separate public and private matters. Kong Minhee openly shows her discomfort with a forced smile, while Jaeon Myung-hoon and Oh Yun-sok have expressions that say, as expected. Kim Yeon appears slightly restless. Well, for now, would it be fine if we start by swatting the fly? I smile and raise my attraction force. That is our first priority. Kong Minhee looks down towards the vicinity of the nether crossing ship, exuding ghostly energy. Then, since we need to untangle the distorted outskirts first, the two Grand Elders should. It's when Kong Minhee reaches towards the twisted outskirts of the netherworld. Oh my, is our sales development department having a fun party without me? A clear and resonant voice suddenly springs out from somewhere. The voice startles Kim Yeon, Kong Minhee, Jaeon Myung-hoon, and Oh Yun-sok, turning their faces into shock. Even I am so caught off guard that I flinch in surprise. Ahaha, let me join in too tilde. Wriggle, exclamation mark quote. My shadow suddenly squirms, and a woman dressed in white appears from within, smiling brightly with her arms outstretched. How? I didn't sense anything. Something is wrong. This feeling isn't coming from Ohio-Seo. I immediately realize something. This isn't Ohio-Seo's power. This is tainted soul filling the heavens. Instantly, I pieced together past experiences and truths to weave together a certain inference. Seo Weol, that bastard must have placed tainted soul filling the heavens on my shadow, and Ohio-Seo used her power through Seo Weol's tainted soul filling the heavens to appear here. Chills run down my spine. The fact that tainted soul filling the heavens can affect such an abstract concept like a shadow is absurd, but combined With Ohai Seo's power, it makes my neck tingle. Doesn't that mean Seo Whale can snipe me from a remote distance whenever he desires? Ohai Seo's projection that appeared through the power of tainted soul filling the heavens smiles brightly and recites. Immortal beasts lustrous glaze peacock, yin ghost black turtle, mountain destroying demon ape, black dragon, supreme tiger, azure pung, white-winged heavenly pegasus. Wing, a taiji pattern forms beneath her feet, and from below it, the figures of divine immortal beasts emerge. Wait, you, Kong Min-hee, enraged, reaches out to Ohai Seo, and I too brandish my all-heavens sword towards the sudden intruder. But the next moment, ho-ho, ho-ha-ho, ho-ha-ho-ho, Heo Ryong and Heo Gwak start laughing eerily like something straight out of a nightmare, forming hand seals simultaneously. Ohai Seo and Seo Whale exert their powers at the same time. Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth Shui Yin Gui Gumi Gong. Myriad Spirits Earth Immortal Apparition Wan Ling De Xian Zhuang. Space distorts. In an instant, our surroundings turn into a pure white space. When I look around, my colleagues are nowhere to be seen. We have fallen into the trap set by the collaboration of Ohai Seo and Seo Whale. Ho ha ho, thank you, Miss Hai Seo. Thanks to you, we were able to capture that anomaly. The pure white space. Inside, the projection of Seo Whale dressed in blue robes, and the projection of Ohai Seo dressed in white, are conversing. By the way, was it necessary to reveal the technique I had hidden? It was a secret that I could hide it in shadows. Oh my, was it necessary? It's fun, isn't it? Fun, ho ho. Seo Whale looks at Ohai Seo with a bright smile. A look that seems to say he understands whatever Ohai Seo is thinking. As expected, Ohai Seo is also smiling. However, she is fiercely thinking as she looks at Seo Whale. What is this guy thinking? Does he know my plan? That can't be. But Seo Whale's techniques might be able to read thoughts, so I have to be careful. I should keep trivial thoughts on the surface while contemplating important ones deeper inside. Well, fine. Regardless, Seo Whale will be leaving this otherworld created by distorting the outskirts of the netherworld, so I'll use that gap to secretly contact Seo Eun-yun. Ohai Seo's mind races furiously. Then, Seo Whale stands up from his seat. I can't stay in this space for too long, so I'll step outside and prepare to capture them completely. Miss Hai Seo, please maintain this space for a while. Leave it to me. Ohai Seo stands up to see Seo Whale off, and he turns his back to leave the white space. At that moment, cooing, a heavy rumbling roar is heard from somewhere. Seo Whale turns around and laughs softly. Oh dear. Well, I expected as much. What? Ohai Seo looks towards the origin of the sound, momentarily unable to grasp the situation. What in the? And then, Kwajongchang. Cracks spread across the white space, and a hand reaches out from within, grabbing Ohai Seo's ankle. No, what is this? Ohai Seo's eyes widen in shock, and Seo Whale hurriedly uses attraction force to open the door of the white space. No, wait, Grand Prince, Seo Whale. Take me with you. Ohai Seo hastily calls out to Seo Whale, but he simply laughs with a ho-ho, stepping through the door and closing it without hesitation. Kwang, tststst. The white door shines brightly before dissipating into the white space. Ohai Seo gasps for breath, her lips pressed tightly together as she feels the 38 eyes staring at her from behind and hears Seo Whale's voice from ahead. Ho-ho, Miss Hai Seo. I wish you a safe return to reality. I will take good care of your body. Seo Whale, you, kia, kya, hua. The white space becomes contaminated, transforming into a garden of filthy flowers. Clench. A terrifying arm straight from a nightmare grasps Ohai Seo's shoulder. It's been a while, Kali Go. Chapter 337, Old Monsters Rampage 6. Ohai Seo's mind spins quickly as she looks at the monster, Seo Eun-yun, behind her. And at this moment, she calculates the optimal act she needs to perform. Ku, Seo Eun-yun. First, she makes a sad expression on her face. Then she speaks in a voice full of reluctance. Kill me. Drip, drip drip, tears flow from Ohai Seo's eyes. With awkward movements, she attempts to attack Seo Eun-yun. Flash, the shape of an immortal beast emerging from her hand charges towards Seo Eun-yun. He will think something is strange. If that happens, it will be Ohai Seo's victory. She knows Seo Eun-yun very well. In fact, like many male employees in the company, Seo Eun-yun also had a subtle fondness for her. Ohai Seo knows this fact all too well. Now, Seo Eun-yun. Notice that something is strange. hesitate to attack me. The story she wants to show through her acting is that of a pitiful colleague being controlled by the evil Seo Wei-ol. After Seo Eun-yun asks what's going on, she would answer that she's being controlled by Seo Wei-ol. Then she would tell Seo Eun-yun how to break Seo Wei-ol's control, and let him to release it. After that, I'll inform him that I'm trapped by Seo Wei-ol. Then Seo Eun-yun and the other colleagues will come to rescue me, and I can join them naturally. Oh Hai Seo smiles inwardly, satisfied with her perfect plan. She cries again with tears streaming down her face. Kill me, Seo Eun-yun. Understood. Quote ellipsis question mark quote. And without hesitation, Seo Eun-yun tears apart the shape of the immortal beast sent by Oh Hai Seo and swings a pitch-black ghost claw towards her. Oh Hai Seo dodges the ghost claw with all her might. This other dimension, created with the twisting of the netherworld's outer boundary. To control the center of this space, one has to be in a soul state. Regular physical force doesn't work. However, being in a soul state, Oh Hai Seo understands that it will be a disaster if she touches Seo Eun-yun's ghost claw. That ghostly energy, that curse. If I touch it, my soul will rot away. She breaks into a cold sweat inwardly, thinking frantically. What is this? Why is he so unhesitant? No, wait, does he really think I've betrayed him? No, that can't be. Oh Hai Seo cries out tearfully. Free me, Seo Eun-yun. Seo Wei-ol is controlling me, forcing me to attack you. Kwak 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 kwang. As she says this, she releases a taiji from her hands towards Seo Eun-yun and uses the recoil to fly backward. Chi. However, Seo Eun-yun, not having suffered even a scratch, walks through the white space with 38 lights shining from his eyes. All right, I'll help you. Rest in peace. Boong. Without the slightest hesitation, Seo Eun-yun scatters a curse spell towards her. Pitch-black curses fall towards her in streams. Oh Hai Seo grits her teeth inwardly. That stupid bastard. When Yian suggested to have lunch together at work, he told her to eat alone, and now he takes my plea literally. What a useless bitch. Having revealed that she's being controlled, there's no more reason to attack her unless he truly is an idiot. Oh Hai Seo racks her brain. Yes, maybe because he fought Seo Wei-ol once, he knows how terrifying Seo Wei-ol is and believes there's no chance of saving me. With this conclusion, she bites her lip and acts again. Thank you, Eun-yun. To break Seo Wei-ol's spell, you need to unravel the 108 threads of yin-yang 5 elements and a malicious restraint called the 5 elements blood curse banner within me. Then you have to sequentially break the 4 curses in my consciousness, but that might be too difficult, right? Just let me rest. Yes, it does seem really difficult. I have no confidence. Goodbye, Oh Hai Seo. If you can't do it, at least ask Kong Minhee or some other smart person. I even gave you the clues. Boong. Oh Hai Seo barely dodges Seo Eun-yun's curse again, sweating coldly. That useless bastard, he's really trying to kill me. Has he gone mad after learning some devilish arts? Just what happened during those 100 years to make him this broken? Even his past is shrouded by a hazy mist and unreadable. Biting her lip, Oh Hai Seo decides to change her plan. That crazy madman bastard, wandering around with those strange things stuck on his shoulders, he's definitely gone mad. Oh Hai Seo rolls her eyes. Let's give up on Seo Eun-yun for now. Since this madman is acting like this, there's no chance of joining him as a colleague. For now, it's better to look for an opportunity to join through Jeon Myung-hoon or the sharp-witted Kong Minhee later. Deciding to modify her plan, Oh Hai Seo spreads her hands. Wing. A taiji symbol spins between her hands. Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth, activate. Pot. In an instant, the white space twists, creating a distance of 100 li between Oh Hai Seo and Seo Eun-yun. The taiji rotates once. The distance widens by another 100 li. Seo Wei-ol's Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth. This spell twists the outskirts of the netherworld to create a special-purpose alternate space. Originally, Seo Wei-ol could only create the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth but not control it. What he could do was open and close the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth and grant administrator privileges. However, even those granted administrator privileges could not freely manage the space. To control this space, certain, special conditions, had to be met even if one has received the administrator privileges. And through her own powers, Oh Hai Seo can control this space as if it's hers. I need to get far away from Seo Eun-yun and isolate him in another space. If I don't get out quickly, who knows what Seo Wei-ol will do to my body again. Kugugugek. Far away, the space begins to warp due to an immense attraction force. Oh Hai Seo grits her teeth and extends her hands. The space shifts, nullifying Seo Eunyeon's attraction force. Ha, ha, she sweats coldly. Is it because he's at the integration level? It's tough to negate his attraction force. Anyway, since I've sealed his attraction force, he won't be able to chase me with the ground shrinking technique. At that moment, what? Oh Hai Seo blinks her two eyes. Seo Eunyeon has appeared right in front of her. Don't worry. I'll set you free. Boong. Seo Eunyeon raises his arm. Kwang. His arm, filled with pitch-black curses, smashes into the white space. What is this? Oh Hai Seo gnashes her teeth in frustration, her expression one of disbelief. He got here without using the ground shrinking technique and only with the flying escape technique. Wing. She spreads her hands and summons the Taiji again. The Taiji spins rapidly, increasing the distance between her and Seo Eunyeon once more. 100 li, 200 li, 3000 li. If it's this much, without the ground shrinking technique. Is it an illusion spell? But contrary to her hopes, when she closes and opens her eyes, Seo Eunyeon has reappeared right in front of her again. How did you get here without the ground shrinking technique? I'm just that fast. Seo Eunyeon reaches out his hand towards Oh Hai Seo calmly. Oh Hai Seo's face turns pale. Even though she's emotionless, she still has desires. From basic desires like hunger, lust, and sleep to the fundamental desire to survive. And as a living being, the fundamental desire to live, and the fear that stems from it are naturally present. Oh Hai Seo, overcome with the fear stemming from her desire to survive, gasps for breath and extends her arms. Immortal beast, lustrous glaze peacock. Flash, a pure white light shoots towards Seo Eunyeon. But Seo Eunyeon seems to wrap himself in a hazy mist, and the light of the lustrous glaze peacock scatters uselessly. Oh Hai Seo retreats, continuously summoning the power of the immortal beasts. Immortal beast, yin ghost black turtle. The yin energy of the black turtle, said to command 10,000 ghosts, appears to spread around, but as Seo Eunyeon's 38 orbs of light shine, the yin energy of the black turtle seems startled and tries to move away from him. Immortal beast, mountain-destroying demon ape, white-winged heavenly Pegasus. The power of the white-winged heavenly Pegasus, symbolizing order, and the mountain-destroying demon ape, symbolizing chaos, gathers in Oh Hai Seo's hands. Oh Hai Seo clashes the black and white energies in both hands. Kugwagwagwagwa, the energy of great chaos seems to fill the white space completely. But in the next moment, great mountain, flash, splitting emperor, the energy of great chaos disperses and scatters entirely. Immortal beast, azure pung. Wing, blue wings appear to burst forth from her shoulder blades, twisting the space around her. At the same time, the blood yin ghost valley labyrinth twists, trapping Seo Eunyeon in the distorted maze of space. This is the power of the famous immortal beast Azure Pung, renowned for its spatial labyrinth abilities. Combined with the power of the blood yin ghost valley labyrinth, the space is twisted once more, making it impossible to escape in a short time. Kwa Ching. Then, breaking through the white space, Seo Eunyeon's hand emerges. Oh, hi, Seo. Heh. Oh Hai Seo once again sets up the spatial labyrinth to reseal Seo Eunyeon, then uses the power of the blood yin ghost valley labyrinth to put more distance between herself and him. Borrowing the power of the immortal beast Supreme Tiger, she strengthens her physical body and tries to break through the space to escape outside with the power of the Azure Pung. However, she turns back at a chilling sound. Do. A giant with 19 dangling heads and 38 eyes weeping bloody tears, with a body of starlight and black, grotesque flowers blooming all over it, is running towards her. Ooh, Kia, hua. The eerie wails decorate the surroundings of the giant. Go away. Finally, Oh Hai Seo's composure crumbles. Go away, you monster. Do. She summons the images of numerous immortal beasts and throws them at the monster. But it's useless. The yin energy of the yin ghost black turtle is just chewed up, the chaos of the mountain-destroying demon ape is contaminated into a curse, the vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness of the white-winged heavenly Pegasus are devoured by summoned pure white flowers, and the power of the lustrous glaze peacock is blocked by a hazy mist. The Azure Pung's spatial labyrinth is simply broken through, and the power of Supreme Tiger is ineffective. Do. Oh Hai Seo, towards the Seo Eunyeon who has suddenly caught up and is reaching towards her, throws the form of the black dragon. But Seo Eunyeon grabs the jaws of the black dragon, tears it apart, and resumes his mad chase after her. Something is caught in Seo Eunyeon's grasp. Dangerous. He's about to throw something at me, it'll be dangerous if it hits. Sensing the flow of heaven and earth's spiritual energy, she realizes Seo Eun-yun is about to throw something, ominous, at her. It's really dangerous. No, all heavens. Kyok, Seo Eun-yun throws something at her, and Oh Hai-seo screams in agony as if her entire body is being shredded apart. Clench. Finally, Oh Hai-seo is caught in the giant's grasp. I finally caught her. I sigh as I glare at Oh Hai-seo. She looks as if she's about to faint. It seems that the pain from the all heavens sword cutting through her soul is considerable. Alright, now then, I begin to infuse ghostly energy into her body, distorting the space using Oh Hai-seo, who is the center of this area. Kugugugu. This is a space made from borrowing the outskirts of the netherworld. So, it should be fully maneuverable with my abilities. Kugugugu. The white space moves. It twists. Sensing my scattered colleagues, I begin to call them one by one. Pot. Jaeon Myung-hoon is the first to arrive by my side. Next, Kim Yeon and Oh Yun-sok appear in order. Pot. The last to appear is Kong Min-hee. Well, it seems everyone has gathered except Kim Young-hoon. As you all know, Oh Hai-seo brought us to this space. She is also the one who tampered with the Black Ghost Valley. The Deputy Oh, really? Jaeon Myung-hoon and Oh Yun-sok are surprised, and Kim Yeon also looks slightly taken aback. Kong Min-hee, however, crosses her arms and clicks her tongue. Let's hear the reason, since she's been a smooth talker since Earth. I look at Oh Hai-seo and ask. Yes, I'm curious as well, just what is the reason for betraying us? Quote. Oh Hai-seo is an intriguing person. She's always in a calm state, with her intent always being stable. Though her intent, symbolizing emotions, are faint, she doesn't possess a horrifying heart essence like Seo Whale. To put it bluntly, Oh Hai-seo's heart essence is like a desolate desert, different from the filthy wasteland of Seo Whale or the Mad Lord. That's why, until I was directly attacked by Oh Hai-seo, I didn't know her true nature. Though I still don't understand, even now. What exactly is the motive behind her actions, and why did she betray us and join sides with Seo Whale? In response to my question, Oh Hai-seo smiles faintly. Shudder. Ho ho, as expected, you have been in contact with Miss Hai-seo for a long time. Then, a bloody light emits from her soul. Chuaik. I try to seal Oh Hai-seo using ghostly energy, but I realize it's impossible. I am pushed back by the bloodlight and end up losing her. This space. It's resonating with this light. As the red light erupts, Oh Hai-seo's shadow squirms and becomes Seo Whale. Seo Whale gently wraps his arms around Oh Hai-seo's shoulders and pulls her into his embrace. Miss Hai-seo will be taken back. When I briefly took over her body outside, it turned out her ability itself originates from her soul. She herself is needed. You. Then, Seo Whale moves his hand. Open, tainted soul deadly gaze. Pot. Bloodlight looks to spread around, and Seo Whale's horrifying heart essence spreads through the white space. Everyone, close your eyes and shut off your consciousness. I urgently shout to the surroundings. It's Seo Whale's heart essence. Staring at it for too long will make you instantly brainwashed by his tainted soul filling the heavens. That's when it happens. Shudder. The Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth is a kind of side path, using the outskirts of the Netherworld. The only difference is that the destination is not the Nether Ghost Realm, but the Blood Yin Realm. Kugugugugu. In the distance, a blood-red world can be seen. While I retrieve my axes, you can enjoy a tour of the Blood Yin Realm. Ho ho. It should only take 3,000–4,000 years. I try to resist that blood-red world, but the powerful attraction force continues. There's no other choice. I must jump. I exerted all my strength to break free from the attraction force. Then, it happens. Wing. From the hand that had grabbed Oh Hai-seo, a peculiar, taiji, shape begins to rise, enveloping my entire body like a tumor. This is Seo Whale. I grit my teeth. Was this all planned from the start? Me going to the Black Ghost Valley, where the power of the Netherworld's outskirts is strong. Oh Hai-seo revealing herself and inviting us to this space. The fact that I caught and made contact with her. It seems it was all within Seo Whale's expectations. Seo Whale holds Oh Hai-seo in his arms, looking down at Seo Eun-yun and his colleagues being dragged into the blood-red pit below. Originally, I intended for Miss Hai-seo to face that monster alone, and only send that monster in, but, it seems I'll have to send more people than I expected. To think you'd fail to achieve your goal and end up being captured in front of everyone. You're quite incompetent, aren't you, Miss Hai-seo? At Seo Whale's words, Oh hi Seo, nestled in his arms, rubs her head and gives a sardonic smile. You're quite remarkable too, Grand Prince. Pretending to use me as bait, ready to pop out at any moment to send my colleagues to another realm. Ho ho, it's thanks to you, Miss Hai Seo, for following my thoughts so well. Because of you, I could send that old monster who had long contact with you below without resistance. By the way, how did you do that? Doesn't Miss Hai Seo's soul contain the power of immortal beasts fused together? It's a spell that draws out the power of Taiji from that fusion to bind the opponent. Would you like me to teach you? You're going to teach it in a strange way again, aren't you? Ho ho, it's then, quagwagwagwa, an immense giant of starlight reaches out from below, thrusting its hand into the space. It's Oh Yun Sok. Oh, hi, Seo. What is this, that you've done? Oh my, Yun Sok Orabeoni. Why are you struggling so much? Just go down. What would your father think? Stop this at once. Ah ha ha, my father. Quadududuke. And then, another giant crawls up next to Oh Yun Sok. It's a giant of lightning with 6 arms. It's Jaeon Myung-hoon, Deputy O, as this betrayal. Red lightning flashes continuously from his eyes, and his shadow splits into 6, fluttering around him. But that's not all. Kia, ah, ooh, a horde of ghosts numbering in thousands arise, and within their midst is an 8-foot ghost. It's Kong Min-hee, you brazen bitch. I knew it ever since you secretly followed your colleague to their houses. That you're a crazy bitch. Ha ha ha, Miss Min-hee. Don't you look crazier right now? Oh Hai Seo bursts into laughter as she looks at the 3 monsters. But then, she suddenly looks below and flinches. Threads. Pure white threads of consciousness stretch everywhere, tightly binding the 3 monsters and Seo Eun-yun, who is about to fall into the Blood Yin realm. Kim Yeon is preventing Seo Eun-yun's fall by restraining his body. Just wait, let's see when I get up there. Jaeon Myung-hoon mutters, red lightning crackling from his eyes. To make matters worse, a large centipede springs out of Seo Eun-yun's peach garden painting, spewing venom. It's a scene of pandemonium as if monsters are crawling up from the abode of demons Bogmagen. Seo Whale and Oh Hai Seo, the 2 beautiful individuals, wear mask-like smiles. Ho ho, Miss Hai Seo. Then, shall we exert some effort to prevent those monsters from coming up? You won't stab me in the back, right? That will never happen. For now, stay away. Oh Hai Seo slips out of Seo Whale's arms and begins to prepare a spell. Seo Whale also emits a crimson light. Oh Hai Seo creates the form of the black dragon among the immortal beasts, and Seo Whale creates the form of a giant sea dragon. A majestic scene unfolds as if 2 divine dragons are blocking monsters from the depths of hell from crossing into the mortal world. Let's go. Seo Whale and Oh Hai Seo unleash their power upon the monsters climbing up from the abode of demons. A divine light strikes upon the bizarre monsters. Chapter 338. Old Monsters Rampage 7. KWA. The dragon's form becomes a streak of light and emits divine energy into the pit below. The form of the sea dragon scatters like a spray of water and covers Seo Eun-yun and his party. Blood sacrifice ritual, Blood Yin returning home. As Seo Whale forms hand seals, the attraction force from the Blood Yin realm pulling Seo Eun-yun's group intensifies overwhelmingly. Seo Whale also seems to be affected by the force, but when Oh Hai Seo reaches out and shrouds Seo Whale's body with the form of the black dragon, the effect disappears. Afterward, she unleashes the form of the black dragon again, opening its mouth to spew a black breath downward. KWA. Oh Hai Seo, how could you? Oh Yun Sok, the giant of stars, feels particularly betrayed and tries to rise upward frantically. Kugugugugu. Purple primordial chaos boils from Oh Yun Sok's entire body. The giant of stars Oh Yun Sok transforms into a colossal figure covered in purple steam. Within the purple steam, Oh Yun Sok's fierce eyes glimmer ominously. How can you betray your own family? Oh Hai Seo covers her mouth with her hand. Suppressing her laughter with all her might, she retorts. Oh my, family, we're not even related by blood, so what family? Ah, that expression is so funny. As expected of such a sentimental clan. The O clan, cuckoo. Your father raised you with genuine affection. How can you say such things? Ah ha ha, that couldn't possibly be true, Yun Sok Orabeoni. Father, was just satisfying his own ego. I observed. Father, more closely, so why are you acting like you know better? Or do you want to play family? Shall I call you by your proper title, youngest uncle Ji Fu? Oh Hai Seo laughs out loud and extends her palm towards Oh Yun Sok. Coo goo 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 goo. The massive form of the black dragon pours down towards Oh Yun Sok, who ultimately fails to withstand it and falls into the pit below. Kim Yeon extends her consciousness again to bind Oh Yun Sok, preventing him from falling into the blood yin realm. Well then, who shall we drop nay? As Oh Hai Seo looks down, selecting her next target. Flash. Quirururung. Kya. 6 flags made of lightning fly, piercing Oh Hai Seo's arms, legs, the back of her head, and her waist. Kwajijik. Black clouds form in the white space, and the flags embedded in Oh Hai Seo act as lightning rods, calling forth bolts of lightning. Kwajijik. Lightning furiously rains down. Oh Hai Seo screams and tries to escape, but the flags embedded in her body flickers and press her down. Jaeon Myung-hoon, wielding 6 arms, climbs up from below with a fierce gleam in his eyes. You're quite careless, Deputy O. Thud, 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 thud. Jaeon Myung-hoon uses his 6 arms to swiftly rise up as he murmurs. I think, I always lost when playing poker with Deputy O during work hours, it's my first win. Kwang. Jaeon Myung-hoon finally overcomes the attraction force and emerges from the pit. He then locks eyes with Seo Whale standing above him. I'll tear you apart when I get up there. Wait for it. However, Seo Whale smiles faintly and strokes his chin. At first I thought you were Taoist Yang's resurrection, but it seems not. If you were Taoist Yang, instead of stabbing Miss Hai Seo with spells and frying her with lightning, you would have immediately sacrificed Miss Hai Seo's soul to borrow the power of blood yin and counterattack me directly. What? Jaeon Myung-hoon is momentarily stunned by such a vile method and wears a bewildered expression. Seo Whale smiles gently. Thus, it's more accurate to consider you not Taoist Yang's resurrection, but merely Taoist Seo's pet. What bullshit is this bastard spouting? At that moment, 5 blood-red flags rise above Seo Whale's head. Go, 5 elements blood curse banner. .. Exclamation mark. Jaeon Myung-hoon instinctively feels fear at the sight of the blood-red flags. He had experienced this torture spell several times from Seo Eun-yun. But he grins wickedly and opens his mouth. Quirurung. Lightning bursts forth and turns Seo Whale's 5 elements blood curse banner to dust. Ha! With just this paltry technique. However, while Seo Whale had distracted him with the 5 elements blood curse banner, he approached Oh Hai Seo and pulled out all the lightning flags embedded in her body. Ha! I thought I was going to die. You've grown a lot, Section Chief Jaeon. You used to be a useless burden who did nothing but slack off at work, and now you can do this. I won't fall for the same trick twice. Oh Hai Seo forms a taiji between her hands. The white space quivers as Jaeon Myung-hoon's hand, which had emerged from the pit, appears to warp, causing the space itself to split and Jaeon Myung-hoon to fall downwards. Koo-goo-goo-goo. Immediately, the light of the lustrous glazed peacock strikes Jaeon Myung-hoon's head directly. Jaeon Myung-hoon, with a dazed expression, falls downward, and Kim Yeon desperately holds him as well. After dropping Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Hai Seo looks down at those still holding on. Kim Yeon, Hong Fan, Kong Min-hee. Among them, Kim Yeon is holding on to Seo Eun-yun, Oh Yun Sok, and Jaeon Myung-hoon to prevent them from falling, and Hong Fan is supporting the struggling Kim Yeon. Thus, the only one capable of counter-attacking is Kong Min-hee. And Oh Hai Seo, looking at the black sphere bubbling up from below, breaks out in a cold sweat. Quote. I expected this, but that damn thing is the trickiest. Ho ho, that person is quite an interesting Taoist. Is that the ghostly yin transformation immortal root? No, even without it, she's a Taoist who possesses absurdly high talent. Seo Whale reveals his reptilian eyes as he observes Kong Min-hee's ominously surging aura from below. If I had known this, I would have brought that cultivator instead of Miss Hai Seo. I slightly regret it. Ho ho, I guarantee it. If it were Miss Min-hee, you might have been devoured instead. Ho ho, impossible, she's not even the Mad Lord or the Heart Tribe. Anyway, both Seo Whale and Oh Hai Seo raise their tension, glaring at the crazily intensifying aura of Kong Min-hee in the pit. Kong Min-hee's aura is growing. Her strength, initially at the early 4-axis stage, grows to the mid, late, and reaches the grand perfection. Kong Min-hee is absorbing nascent soul stage ghost kings in real time, building an axis made of ghost kings. Koo-goo-goo-goo. Above the white space, the black clouds Jaeon Myung-hoon had summoned do not dissipate but condense further, gathering heaven and earth's spiritual energy within. Heavenly tribulation stirs. However, before the heavenly tribulation can properly strike, Kurururu, a torrent of black ghostly energy surges out of the pit. Kurururu, the ghostly energy pierces the sky. Before the heavenly tribulation can strike, it shatters and scatters in the sky. Seo Whale's expression twitches, and Ohai Seo's face turns serious. What kind of insane, quote. I see. The Blood Yin Ghost Labyrinth is supporting that cultivator. Even with the power of Blood Yin, this is the outer edge of the netherworld. Seo Whale's vertical pupils glow red. Such indescribable talent. The possibility of reaching the star-shattering stage. Seo Whale strokes his chin and then smiles brightly. That cultivator, it seems it would be best to capture her. It's too wasteful to throw her as food to Blood Yin. Qua. A dense darkness spreads out from Seo Whale. Consume 10 of myself. Keying. At the same time, 10 eyes appear in the darkness, staring directly at Kong Minhee. She screams. Ah! Seo Whale laughs with eyes swirling in blood-colored light. Just accept it peacefully. Unless you're a mythical being or someone already broken, you cannot resist me. Seo Whale dives into Kong Minhee's heart essence. He smiles faintly. Her heart essence is no different from a small netherworld. How many ghosts are stored here, yet the ghosts are not going berserk and remain calm. It's unbelievable. Seo Whale gradually peers deeper into Kong Minhee's inner self and laughs. I've captured a being with talent of the ages within my grasp. While the power to stabilize ghosts is terrifying, unlike Miss Hai Seo, it's not an annoying ability. As Seo Whale examines Kong Minhee's heart essence, he suddenly notices something at the center of the ghosts. The ghosts are worshipping it. The overwhelming pressure emanating from that something is what keeps the ghosts calmly obedient to Kong Minhee. Could it be? Chills. Seo Whale has a guess on what that something is. And, although he merely guesses, without confirming its true form, he hastily tries to escape from her mind. As if he doesn't want to get entangled with that something. However, it's already too late. The entity beyond the something has noticed Seo Whale. The something is a hole. Within Kong Minhee's heart essence, there exists a hole connecting to somewhere. How dare you peek at the Imperial Venerable Dizun? A gigantic will fills Kong Minhee's heart essence. Her heart essence, previously filled with the colors of sunset, is instantly engulfed in darkness. Seo Whale's face grows serious as he frantically struggles to escape from Kong Minhee's mind. The oldest and darkest one. The deepest and greatest one. That entity itself shows no reaction. But the one seated at its right hand bears its rage across the whole to punish Seo Whale. Boom. Quote. Huh. Ohai Seo dumbfoundedly looks beside her. It happened in an instant. The head of Seo Whale, who had tried to cast a spell on Kong Minhee, exploded. Seo Whale's soul staggers momentarily before dissolving into a handful of darkness and flowing down. Tingling. Ohai Seo tries to react but suddenly feels her head stiffen and collapses on the spot. It isn't just Ohai Seo. None of those present have a good complexion. Kim Yeon looks as if she is about to vomit, and Hong Fan looks up at Kong Minhee with bloodshot eyes. Seo Eun Yun, Jaeon Myong Hoon, and Oh Yun Sok, freed from Ohai Seo's tricks, are also paralyzed with fear, unable to react properly. No, Jaeon Myong Hoon clenches his teeth. Despite his horror, it's a familiar feeling, heavenly punishment, it's similar to that time. Og, Kong Minhee screams, clutching her head. A massive entity is trying to emerge from within her and exert their power onto this world. The ghosts beside Kong Minhee wail and merge into one. The unified gigantic Ghost King exudes the aura of the Grand Perfection integration stage. However, instead of showing arrogance, the Ghost King slits its own belly in a state of terror. Quack! From the Ghost King's slit belly, a pitch-black banner emerges. With its belly split open, the Ghost King, trembling and shedding tears of fear, shouts in a shaking voice. The Chief Judge has arrived. As the Ghost King waves the banner and shouts, the group of ghosts under its command also tremble in fear and bellow in unison. The Chief Judge has arrived. Kugugugu. Kong Minhee's form begins to change. Surpassing her human form, blue ghost fire erupts from her eyes. Kong Minhee's hair flares out in all directions, undulating. Behind her, a massive shadow envelops Kong Minhee. The colossal entity, from below the pit, gazes at the entrance of the Blood Yin realm, still exerting attraction force on Kong Minhee and Seo Eun Yun's group. Leftover of the predecessor. Live as befits your name and stop mimicking the noble one. If your actions continue to disgrace the noble predecessor, even if I must endure the Imperial Venerable's reproach, I will annihilate you. If you understand, hold your breath and shut your filthy mouth. The entrance to the Blood Yin realm abruptly contracts and closes at the will of the colossal entity. The gigantic existence then looks up at the sky and mutters. Beyond the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth created by Co Waol, the entity seems to gaze into a distant dimension far beyond. Is the mountain about to be defeated? Once again, an imperial throne is being confined. As the gods begin to move, it heralds the return of the era of myths. The pitch-black entity looks down at Kong Minhee and mutters. Since the insect has already noticed, it's best to hasten the awakening. O Imperial Venerable, if we delay, the light will notice. Let us proceed immediately. Finishing its words, the shadow bows and seeps back within Kong Minhee. Ah, Kong Minhee wails. The colossal entity which is about to return through Kong Minhee's heart essence, suddenly shifts its gaze to two suspicious beings. Behind the Ojai Co who is half out of her mind is Co Waol, pulling her away. And below Kong Minhee, regaining his composure and honing a sword at the plane of soul, is Co Unyun. Co Unyun is soaring at a fierce speed. Holding the sword of all of the heavens, natural colors, he approaches Kong Minhee, slicing through the darkness. He cleaves the presence of the gigantic existence. At the same time, he blooms a flower of curses while attempting to elevate the curse to the plane of fate. Extinguishing divine tribulating heavens. After extracting Ojai Co Waol then casts thousands of eyes into the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth. Tainted soul filling the heavens. Jijik. Driven by tainted soul filling the heavens, the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth attempts to confine Kong Minhee. Extinguishing divine tribulating heavens becomes the blade to sever the remnants of the enormous entity within Kong Minhee. The enormous entity returns to where it had descended and glares sternly at Co Waol's tainted soul filling the heavens. Sinner, for the crime of daring to behold the sacred visage, Sheng Yan, I seal the eyes of your mask for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, you shall chase nothing but darkness with those eyes. Tens of thousands, no, hundreds of millions of eyeballs behind them are simultaneously obscured by darkness. Sun and Moon Heavenly Domain. Within the entire domain, everyone who had ever met Co Waol suddenly feel an odd sensation and touch their heads. They all feel something rampaging inside their heads but soon feel as if a parasite in their brains have fallen asleep. They all find it peculiar for a moment but, since it is ultimately a good thing, they move on. Inside the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth. The colossal entity looks at Co Unyun. You, who knows righteousness. Though I wish to bless you, the Imperial Venerable deems it to be pointless, so I shall only take the calamity you brought upon yourself. Do not forget the heart that thinks of friends and the resolve to repent for your sins. Quadududuk. The extinguishing divine tribulating heavens spread by Co Unyun shatters all at once as the entity exerts their power, leaving Co Unyun covered in blood. Having completed their task, the gigantic existence fully returns through Kong Minhee's heart essence. And Kong Minhee, now awakened as a completely new being, roars. But Co Unyun does not stop. Despite the extinguishing divine tribulating heavens being shattered, and his entire body being crushed, he relentlessly flies toward Kong Minhee. Flash. As if light is swirling, Co Unyun finally plunges the all-heavens sword into Kong Minhee's chest. Please, please. I clench my teeth and look at Kong Minhee. I don't want this life to end this way. But more than that, I hate seeing my precious people getting destroyed by the whims of such colossal existences. Kong Minhee, please. Get a hold of yourself. And then, it seems as though rationality is returning to Kong Minhee's eyes. Co Unyun. Pot. In an instant, Kong Minhee's message flows into my mind. What do you know? Don't allow it. Fate is something you can resist. Kong Minhee's lips twitch. She seems to smile sadly for a moment. Cooing. As the attraction force distorts, the pit leading to the Blood Yin realm reopens. Kong Minhee pushes me away. Thank you. With a smile, she moves towards the center of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth. She is to be sealed. Ironically, due to the collaboration between Co Waol and me, she is willingly sealing herself in the center of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth for hundreds of years, calming herself alone. And, as she had conveyed to me, she will follow the fate given to her by the death god. Kong Minhee, I scream, trying to reach her, but I am helplessly sucked in by another attraction force she created. Not just me, but Kim Yeon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, and Hong Fan are all drawn into the new entrance Kong Min-hee has created. I am dragged into the darkness, watching Kong Min-hee gradually lose her sanity again. Quote. When I open my eyes, I realize I am floating on a pitch-black river. This is staggering. I stand up. Strangely, this river doesn't cause my body to sink, and I can stand on it as if it is flat ground. Though my feet sink a little, it's very slight. As I look around with puzzled eyes, I suddenly notice Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, and Kim Yi-yeon submerged below the river. Master, you're awake. Exclamation mark. Hong Fan. I'm startled as I see Hong Fan by the riverside. Hong Fan's body is being devoured by a giant carnivorous plant-like creature on the riverside. Master, first rescue your companions. I will get out quickly. You can pull them up using attraction force. Got it. I hurriedly pull up my colleagues who are submerged at the riverbed. Then, dragging them to the riverside, I check their condition. Fortunately or unfortunately, none of them have any serious issues. But, where exactly is this? I slice through the carnivorous plant that's trying to consume Hong Fan and split it apart while looking around. The air is filled not with heaven and earth spiritual energy but with pitch-black thick ghostly energy. It's different from the true devil realm. The eerie silence makes it feel like the side path. Hong Fan reverts to his human form and shakes off the mucus covering his body. Master, let's bring Yi and Jin out first. Yi and Jin? Yes, it would be good to ask Yi and Wei Nim where we are. Yi and Wei Nim has a lot of experience and a lot of age, so there's a lot she knows. Good idea. I take out the peach garden painting and bring out Yi and Jin. As soon as Yi and Jin emerges, he shouts. Seriously, Senior, everything's good, but why did you take so long to bring me out? Honestly, you forgot about me, didn't you? Sorry. Thinking back, I realize I had forgotten to take Yi and Jin out of the peach garden painting since crossing into the bright cold realm. Feeling immensely guilty, I apologize to Yi and Jin. Really, if it weren't for the ancestors' words, I would have been playing around at the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, Geo. Queeg. Yi and Jin, who was grumbling, suddenly begins vomiting blood. Exclamation mark. Yi and Jin. Startled, I hurriedly approach him. At that moment, Yi and Jin's eyes roll back, and he quickly sits cross-legged, expelling the ghostly energy around him. Seeing Yi and Jin's life in danger, I realize that she, inside him, has opened her eyes. You reckless fools, didn't you say you were ascending to the bright cold realm? Why have you come here? Yi and Wei. Looking at Yi and Wei losing her temper, I briefly explain the situation. So, you got caught up in a complicated incident in the bright cold realm and ended up here. That's right. Do you know where we are? Yi and Wei rubs her forehead as if she has a headache. Didn't you already guess from the abundance of ghostly energy? This is the Nether Ghost Realm. Realizing my suspicions are correct to some extent, I let out a sigh. We have fallen into the Nether Ghost Realm. Chapter 339, The Deceased One. I grit my teeth and sigh. The Nether Ghost Realm all of a sudden. Seo Wei-ol, that bastard. Since everything is ultimately Seo Wei-ol's fault, I grit my teeth and blame him. But despite the anger, I can't just stay angry forever. I calm my emotions and start thinking about future plans. Now that I'm in the Nether Ghost Realm, there's no helping it. Let's aim to return to the bright cold realm as quickly as possible, find the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, and establish the axis of longevity. Since I can't change what has already happened, it's best to do what I can from now on. Before establishing a plan, I first look up at the sky to read the celestial signs. I intend to gather information by reading the celestial energy and then move based on that. The Nether Ghost Realm's sky is dark blue. Although it seems to be daytime according to the celestial energy, the sky is a dark navy blue, and dozens of bright stars are visible. At that moment, Yi and Wei suddenly panics and slaps my cheek. Smack. You crazy bastard. Why are you reading the celestial energy in the Nether Ghost Realm? Close your eyes. Close your eyes and lower your head. What? Though I'm bewildered, I follow her instructions and close my eyes, lowering my head. What's going on? Damn it, I forgot that you wouldn't know about the Nether Ghost Realm and might act recklessly. Yi and Wei, exuding an intent of fear, slowly explains. First of all, in the Nether Ghost Realm, you must not look at the sky and try to read the celestial energy. No, more precisely, you can only do such things at night. Question mark. Is there a reason we shouldn't read celestial energy during the day in the nether ghost realm? I open my eyes in confusion and ask. Yi and Wei, with a pale face, uses sound transmission to speak, fearing someone might overhear. The stars in the sky during the day are not stars. These things are not stars, you say. Yes, the things shining in the sky right now are eyes. Chills. I understand what Yi and Wei is saying. Information I had previously heard from Coal. Are those eyes perhaps? Yes, it seems you know. For some reason, the ones above are observing the entire nether ghost realm from outside. Chills run down my spine. Coal had mentioned that the entering nirvana true persons are observing the nether ghost realm to find a side path to the true immortal realm. The things floating in the sky right now are not stars. They are the gazes of dozens of entering nirvana true persons observing this world from beyond the sky of the nether ghost realm. If I had fallen into the nether ghost realm without knowing anything and kept staring at the sky to read celestial energy, I might have unknowingly become a puppet of an entering nirvana true person. Thank you, Senior Yian. I sincerely thank Yi and Wei for her advice. Well, it's common knowledge among the inhabitants of the nether ghost realm anyway. Besides, during the night, the real constellations appear in the nether ghost realm, and their attraction force hides those gazes, so you can read the celestial energy then. At night, the yin energy of the nether ghost realm also thickens, making it harder for them to observe. So, I should read celestial energy at night. That's right. As long as you avoid reading the celestial energy during the day, there's nothing too dangerous for someone at your level. With your monstrous skills at the integration level, there's nothing to fear below the esteemed ones. Moreover, all the esteemed ones across the realms are currently on expeditions. I nod and share this information with Hongfan as well. What a terrifying place. By the way, why aren't my colleagues waking up? I look at my still unconscious colleagues. Although the shock of crossing dimensions is strong, my colleagues with strong vitality should have woken up by now. Could it be there's something in that river? No. Even if the river is lethally poisonous, those at the core formation stage or higher should be able to detoxify it with their life force. The reason your companions aren't waking up is because of the ghostly energy of the nether ghost realm. Thinking back, Yi and Jin would have died vomiting blood if Yi and Wei hadn't expelled the ghostly energy. If you don't learn the ghost path method, you'll be engulfed by the energy of the nether ghost realm and fall into a comatose state. The longer that state lasts, the higher the chance of death. What? Then shouldn't we wake them up? Indeed. However, since your companions haven't learned the ghost path method, you'll need to forcefully teach them the basics of the ghost path method through external stimulation. If they can't handle ghostly energy, they'll fall into a comatose state. I glance down at Jaeon Myung-hoon. Then why is this bastard still sleeping? Following my gaze, Yi and Wei looks at Jaeon Myung-hoon and then grabs him by the collar, slapping him furiously. Smack, smack, smack. Ku, aagh. A while later, Jaeon Myung-hoon spits out blood and his eyes snap open. Where is this? So this one was just sleeping. To wake the others, you need to instill them with ghostly energy to implant even the basic ghost path power in their bodies. Yes, I will do so. But first, I briefly explain the situation to Jaeon Myung-hoon. The nether ghost realm, yes. And for now, we need to find the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and figure out a way to return to the bright cold realm. What? The disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect are? Jaeon Myung-hoon's eyes widen in surprise upon hearing that the disciples are alive. He wipes his face. They're alive. Yes, they are alive. Thank goodness. Jaeon Myung-hoon wipes his face and gives a faint smile. After conveying the plan to Jaeon Myung-hoon, I approach the other two to wake them up. Yi and Wei uses the ghost path method she knows to accumulate ghostly energy in Yi and Jin's body. I prop up Oh Yun-sok and Kim Yi into a sitting position and place my hands on their backs, infusing them with ghostly energy. Wo Wang, I consider imprinting the basic ghost path method of the Black Ghost Valley I had learned through Coal. But somehow, I feel it wouldn't suit the two of them. In that case. After a moment of contemplation, I decide to create a ghost path method on the spot. For Oh Yun-sok, I think of a ghost path method that will strengthen his body with ghostly energy. For Kim Yeon, I create one that will train her consciousness with ghostly energy. I infuse ghostly energy into them according to my intended operations. After a while, the ghostly energy perfectly aligns with both of them, forming a basic ghost path method. It matches well with Yun Sok's Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method and flows smoothly without any conflict with Kim Yeon's wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Soon, as ghostly energy forms within them, they open their eyes. This is, where are we, Yun? I explain the current situation to the two individuals, detailing the precautions in the nether ghost realm, such as not reading celestial energy during the day. Myself, Yeon Jin, Hong Fan, Kim Yeon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, and Yun Sok. The six of us discuss our future plans and decide on our goals. Our primary objective in the nether ghost realm is to return to the bright cold realm. Next, Jaeon Myung-hoon and I aim to find the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. And since we're already in the nether ghost realm, it might be good to establish the 5 blessings axis as well. Yeon Wei, with her arms crossed, explains the true Orthodox Axis Foundation, also known as the 5 blessings axis. Quote. As you can see, the 5 blessings axes are the proper foundation to establish. They are much stronger than the 5 elements axis. Therefore, why not establish the axis of longevity which can be formed in the nether ghost realm? Yeon Wei looks at Jaeon Myung-hoon and me as she speaks. Currently, I am at the 4-axis stage. Jaeon Myung-hoon is half a step into the 4-axis stage. Kim Yeon and Yun Sok are at the nascent soul stage and the core formation stage respectively. Hong Fan is about to enter the 4-axis stage, so there's no need to worry about him. According to Yeon Wei, one must be at least at the Grand Perfection Heavenly Being stage to perform the Axis Foundation ceremony. Hence, it will be difficult for Yun Sok and Kim Yeon to establish their axis in the nether ghost realm even if they want to. Is it really necessary to establish these 5 blessings axis? Jaeon Myung-hoon asks, seemingly uninterested. Yeon Wei replies as if stating the obvious. Of course. The 5 blessings axes are overwhelmingly stronger than the 5 elements axes and are the true Orthodox Axis Foundation handed down from ancient times. Moreover, establishing the 5 blessings axis makes it easier to advance to the integration stage, and once you reach the integration stage, the stability of the domain you form will be on a completely different level. After listening to her, Jaeon Myung-hoon thinks for a moment before his eyes sparkle. But ancestor, didn't you say that establishing the 5 blessings axis takes much longer than the 5 elements axis? And without a thorough understanding of the 5 blessings, it's far more difficult to establish them, practically forcing one to undergo understanding before breakthrough. That's true. On the other hand, if one uses the heterodox axis foundation for the 5 elements axis, it can be established in less than a week. Well, it's not impossible if you have the skills, but are you planning to conduct the Axis Foundation ceremony with the 5 elements axis? Jaeon Myung-hoon nods. If I can establish the 5 blessings axis, I will. But if not, I plan to establish the 5 elements axis and quickly raise my cultivation. Why is that? Jaeon Myung-hoon takes out a wooden box from his bosom and strokes it with gleaming eyes. Because I need to quickly become stronger. Crackle, crackle. Subtle red lightning sparks around him, pushing away the surrounding ghostly energy. I need to become stronger as soon as possible, to elevate my cultivation as quickly as possible, to quell this anger. Pajijijijik, you said it's easier to reach the integration stage. Even if I roughly establish the axis with the 5 elements axis, I am confident I can reach the integration stage. Stability of the domain. Any instability can be fixed by filling it with heavenly tribulation. Jaeon Myung-hoon's eyes spark with red lightning as he steels his resolve. Yeon Wei, understanding yet slightly troubled, speaks. I understand what you mean. However, the quickest way to return to the bright cold realm is to open a side path, like the Black Ghost Valley did. And, the easiest way to open a side path is to establish at least 3 of the 5 blessings axes and reach the late 4-axis stage. I'm puzzled by her words and ask. Can't we just ask the Black Ghost Valley to help us return to the bright cold realm? If you had come to the nether ghost realm through the Black Ghost Valley's side path, that might be possible. But didn't you say you fell here by accident, not via the Black Ghost Valley? If you had come through the Black Ghost Valley, you would have the dream body provided by the nether crossing ship. She clicks her tongue and continues. There are 4 major forces in the nether ghost realm. They are collectively known as the 3 palaces and 1 island, Sangong Yi Dao. The first is the Black Ghost Palace, Heisei Gui Gugong. It's the main sect of the Black Ghost Valley. It's a sinister and secretive group with a reputation for being extremely closed off. While the branch in the bright cold realm is somewhat lenient in order to quickly expand its influence, the main sect is different. It's said to be extremely closed off due to many hidden secrets. The second is the Underworld Ghost Palace, Yuming Gui Gong. It's the most widespread force. The Underworld Ghost Palace is the most famous in the Nether Ghost realm, and its power and influence are immense. Research on ghost path methods and devilish arts are actively conducted there, so the methods that spread from there influence the entire Nether Ghost realm. More than 80% of the methods in circulation in the Nether Ghost realm come from the Underworld Ghost Palace. The third is the flower painting Western Heaven Palace, Watu Shi Tian Gong. In the ghostly energy-filled Nether Ghost realm, they are lunatics who practice the righteous path method of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness. Antagonistically in the Nether Ghost realm, they gather life force and the power of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness, which is extremely effective against the creatures of the Nether Ghost realm, making them a very powerful group. Rumors abound that they are connected to the ones above, so it's best to avoid getting entangled with them. And lastly, the Penglai Island Penglai Dao. I'm puzzled by the familiar name. That name is similar to Penglai Palace. From what I've heard, Penglai Island also follows the same mountain god as Penglai Palace. The Penglai Island in the Nether Ghost realm knows about the Penglai Palace in the bright cold realm, but they have no interest in each other. They share the same name and founder but do not care about each other, making them an unusual group. However, it's known that the Penglai Island here practices a devilish art rather than the Great Mountain Splitting Emperor technique. Hearing the name Penglai reminds me of the name I saw within Hunwan's heart essence. Qian Ra Tian Luo, a being with a name that means the net of heaven. The name, Penglai, which exists everywhere in the middle realms, feels like a net to me. If Penglai is a net, what is it trying to catch? I ponder for a moment. Then it happens. I almost look up at the sky but remember Yan Wei's warning and stop. What's this? It seems to have gotten darker. Apparently, it isn't just me who feels something strange as Jaeon Myung-hoon, Kim Yeon, Oh Yun-sok, and Hong Fan also tilt their heads in confusion. Hong Fan asks me, Master, doesn't it seem like everything around us has gotten darker? Yes, I feel it too. I extend my consciousness to check if there are dark clouds, but there's nothing above us. Kim Yeon and Jaeon Myung-hoon also feel uneasy and tilt their heads in confusion. It feels like this whole world has gotten a bit darker. Right, is it just our imagination? Yan Wei also tilts her head. What phenomenon is this? Even the head realm seems a bit darker. Bright cold realm, at the summit of Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Above the white jade pavilion, Sacred Master Baekwoon groans with a trembling voice. Ku-gu-gu-gu-gu. The entire Heavenly Lotus Mountain shakes. Simultaneously, the spiritual energy of the entire mountain starts to flow erratically. No, it isn't just the Heavenly Lotus Mountain. All the mountains in the bright cold realm that Sacred Master Baekwoon is aware of have their energy disrupted. Sacred Master Baekwoon looks up at the sky with trembling eyes and speaks. Has that tyrannical one finally been confined? But the sky has darkened slightly. Does this mean that even they have sustained a critical injury? How could this be? Did that tyrant hide such power? This is a sign similar to when they were cornered by vast cold 500,000 years ago. With a worried expression, Sacred Master Baekwoon bites her lip and adjusts the attraction force of the entire bright cold realm, her eyes gleaming. If they have sustained a fatal injury and gone into seclusion, the protection of the bright cold realm blessed by them will also weaken. We must be even more vigilant. Having said this, Sacred Master Baekwoon re-enters the white jade pavilion. Wing. The light emanating from the pavilion sweeps across the entire bright cold realm. Is it just a celestial phenomenon? After being on high alert with nothing happening, I finally relax. Yan Wei also loosens her expression. Well, if it's a celestial phenomenon happening on a universal scale, there's nothing we can do about it even if we understand it. Let's not worry and continue our conversation. Anyway, this Nether Ghost realm is filled with such forces. Each force is extremely wary of each other, and outsiders are always suspected of being spies for the opposing forces. In other words, it's like how everyone in the bright cold realm thinks everyone else is a spy from the Heart tribe. Exactly. So, abandon the thought of using a side path from the other forces. The best way is for one of us to accumulate the 5 blessings axes and open a side path ourselves. Upon hearing this, Jaeon Myung-hoon looks at me and speaks. Then, it's best for you to accumulate the longevity axis or whatever it is. What? You're the most talented among us. Yi and-wei nods in agreement. That's right. You are the only monster here with power comparable to the integration stage, so it's best if you build the longevity axis. Even Hun-1 took thousands of years to reach the integration stage, but it took you less than 100 years to get there, didn't it? And the attraction force I sense from you. I don't know when you built it, but you've already established the axis of wealth as well. If it's you, you should be able to accumulate the axis and open the side path in no time. With a hopeful expression, Yi and-wei pats my shoulder. We have high hopes for you. You are our only hope, Co Eun-yun. On the first day of arriving in the Nether Ghost Realm, under the hopeful gazes of Yi and-wei, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon, and Hong Fan, I become everyone's hope for returning to the bright cold realm. Chapter 340, The Deceased 2. I believe in you, Co Eun-yun. Yeah, honestly, if it's you, it wouldn't be surprising if you reached the integration stage in just 10 years and broke through dimensions with your bare body to return to the bright cold realm. As expected of Eun-yun. I've believed in you since the company days. I believe in you too, Oppa. As expected of Master. Yi and-wei, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon, and Hong Fan each shower me with their expectations. I feel a cold sweat running down the back of my neck. Quote. I need to clear up this misunderstanding. First, I think everyone is misunderstanding something. I can wield power beyond my realm, but it's not as easy for me to rapidly rise through cultivation as you think. Haha, why say that, Master? Your talent is unparalleled. Please show us your eye-blinding talent. Hong Fan clenches his fist and looks at me with shining eyes, as if cheering me on. Quote. For the first time in my life, I feel the urge to shut Hong Fan's mouth. Seeing me slightly stiff, Yi and-wei laughs heartily. Ahaha, it's fine. Saying you'll reach the integration stage in 10 years was a joke. Just do it in 100 years. Quote. There seems to be a huge misunderstanding between us. I press my temples firmly as my head starts to hurt. However, Yi and-wei shakes her head instead. No, it's not a misunderstanding. Achieving the 5 blessings axis is difficult if you don't know how, but if you do, it's actually quite easy. The concept of understanding before breakthrough is impossible if you don't grasp it, but once you do, it becomes very straightforward. I have wandered through the Nether Ghost, Ancient Force, and Purple Gold realms, stacking 3 of the 5 blessings axis. I can teach you anytime. Yi and-wei continues speaking, and while you might think building the 5 blessings axis is daunting now because you know nothing about it, your perspective will change once you give it a try. Quote. Alright then. For now, everyone listen up about the 5 blessings axis. Jaeon Myung-hoon, even if you're not planning to build it, you should at least hear about it. She gathers us and begins explaining the 5 blessings axis. The power and performance of the 5 blessings axis, and how to build such axes. As I listen to her, I understand why those who know about the 5 blessings axis, like those in the Black Ghost Valley, are so eager to expand their influence by any means. And simultaneously, I am horrified. That's completely the devilish path. I exclaim to Yi and-wei with a stunned expression. However, Yi and-wei tilts her head as if puzzled. What do you mean? This isn't the devilish path, it's a survival competition. And also just a common barter. Quote. Isn't that just deceiving the other party through a difference in cultivation realm rather than a fair exchange? Isn't the only difference between forcibly taking from them and this a matter of packaging it nicely? Hey, you really haven't met any truly vile cultivators, have you? No, maybe it's because you possess such overwhelming talent that you don't understand desperation. Yi and-wei's words make my facial muscles twitch uncontrollably, but I hold back. Listen well, even though my talent falls short compared to yours, as a senior who has lived desperately, I will give you some advice. Immortal cultivation is about taking. Take from the devilish path, take from the righteous path, take from the spirit demons yokai, and take from your enemies to elevate yourself. That is immortal cultivation. Take away anything that stands in the way of your will, no matter who or what it is. Even if it's an evil ghost, an enemy, or even a comrade. Even if it's a betrothed with whom a 1,000-year union has been promised, taking it to complete yourself is the true meaning of immortal cultivation. Thud. Yi and-wei approaches me with cold eyes and jabs her finger into my chest. Stop speaking the words of someone full. If you've chosen the path of a cultivator, show more poison. Even if the golden divine heavenly thunder sect is in decline, weren't you once part of it? If you've inherited the will of ancestor golden divine, then be even more ruthless. Flinch. Somehow, I feel that the presence before me isn't just Yin Wei. I see. She is a descendant of Yongsu Jin. Perhaps Yongsu Jin didn't just leave his will in the form of a lingering thought on Shattered Heaven Peak. All his descendants, including those of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, they all carry on the will of the golden divine, inheriting the heart of a cultivator filled with poison. Once again, I am facing Yongsu Jin. Quote. But I can't simply deny this will. There is too much at stake on my shoulders to deny this will. Quote. I'm sorry. It's good if you understand. So, you understand that you need the necessary materials to build the 5 blessings axes, right? Yes. To acquire the 5 blessings axes, one needs the middle realms equivalent to the bright cold realms such as the ancient force, nether ghost, purple gold, and blood yin. However, these middle realms are merely intermediaries. What is truly needed is influence. First, as you said, we need to gather influence. How do you plan to gather influence? At the Black Ghost Valley, I previously heard about the characteristics of ghosts. I'd like to hear a bit more from Senior about these characteristics in the nether ghost realm. Like what? Quote. For example, I ask Yin Wei about the ghosts and spirit creatures of the nether ghost realm, and she answers my questions. It's just as I had thought, and I explain my plan to her. Hearing my plan, she gives a wry smile with a dumbfounded expression. Quote. Is that possible? Yes. Quote. Ha, what a pity. How about instead of returning to the bright cold realm, you stake your claim in the nether ghost realm? If you grow your influence here for about 60,000 years, as you said, you could restructure the nether ghost realm into not the current 4 forces of 3 palaces and 1 island but 5 forces. She speaks with a slightly excited expression, but seeing that neither I nor Jeon Myung-hoon, nor the others share her enthusiasm, she deflates a bit. Well, if everyone wants to return, there's no helping it. It's just a shame. Anyway, let's gather information about this area, find a suitable place, and establish our influence. Yes, let's do that. We stand up and decide to first gather information about the surrounding area and then find a place to settle. Step. I temporarily part from my colleagues and follow the river upstream from where we had landed. The others, centered around Jeon Myung-hoon who has mastered the 6 extremes Yin Thunder body, decided to head downstream, while I, on the contrary, head upstream. The others can't use their full strength due to the ghostly energy of the nether ghost realm, so they stick together. On the other hand, thanks to the Great Desert to Dead Sea, I am actually stronger here than in the bright cold realm, making information gathering more efficient if I'm alone. It feels a bit lonely. I sway my 19 heads in my Ghost King form. Perhaps because the Ghost Path method suited his nature, Seo Lee liked this form, but I think General Seo's form is more imposing, so I don't particularly like it. Step, sometimes walking, sometimes using the flying escape technique. How long do I move upstream? Is this a city of the nether ghost realm? I smile with ghost fire glowing from my 38 eyes. Far ahead, at the basin above a large mountain peak where the river begins. There, I feel the presence of numerous ghosts. As I climb higher, a colossal city wall similar to the one I had seen in the head realm comes into view. There doesn't seem to be a gatekeeper in front of the gate, but I soon realize why. You there, do you wish to enter Black River City? Goo. The upper part of the main gate's city wall wriggles, and a huge eyeball pops out. At the same time, the gate transforms into something like a mouth. Ho, did they attach a ghost to the wall itself? The wall itself is the gatekeeper and the gate. Flying over the wall is not an option due to the dense barrier laid over it, making it so that one must obtain permission from this gatekeeper ghost to enter. This ghost, I don't know where you came from, but do you have an identity, Hyok? The wall ghost, writhing and fully revealing its face, seems to want to say something to me but freezes for a moment upon seeing me. Quote. Do you have something to say? When I ask curiously, the wall ghost stammers for a moment before smiling. Ah, it's nothing, elder. At a glance, you seem to be a noble elder of the ghost lineage Gui Mai. I apologize for my daring rudeness. No need, it's only natural for a gatekeeper. Thank you. In fact, to enter Black River City, there's a need to restrict one's consciousness a bit. The wall ghost cautiously asks me. However, if Elder does not wish to, there is no need. It's fine. If that's the rule of this city, I'll follow it. Suppressing my consciousness, I ask. Is this much enough? Thank you. Please enjoy your visit to the Black River City, Elder. Awkwardly smiling as it looks at my faces, it opens its mouth wide to let me enter the city easily. It seems that the death deeply ingrained in my soul is quite effective even in the Nether Ghost realm. Unlike the fussy human race, in the Nether Ghost realm, being acknowledged as a great ghost means no need for an identity plaque. Indeed, thinking about it, just having the form of death implies having died multiple times, making one truly a ghost among ghosts. In the world of ghosts, nothing could be stranger than demanding identification from a ghost among ghosts. Slowly walking into Black River City, I let out a small sigh. This is even more diverse than what I saw in the True Dragon Alliance. Various races are wandering the streets, from normal-looking ghosts to utterly grotesque ones. There are even those who are not ghosts but walking undead creatures like Jiangshi or animated monsters of white bones. Even among the Jiangshi and white bone monsters, there are countless types, and the same goes for the ghosts and ghost kings. Even just within 5 jong. An old man holding a flower basket. A 3-headed Jiangshi dog, a lizard made entirely of bones, a transparent ghost that appears to be just a floating hat and robe. A shadow-like ghostly creature, a ghost king with a pitch-black body and no face like an egg ghost, a tree ghost moving around completely soaked in blood. A maiden ghost in a white funeral dress who looks no different from a human, except for her pale complexion. All sorts of beings roam around. This is the Nether Ghost realm. As I look around with interest, the surrounding ghosts emanate an intent of fear, clearing the path wherever I walk. As a result, a wide path forms wherever I go. Their pale complexions and gloomy color of intent made me think it was due to them cultivating ghost path methods. But it seems it's not the ghost path methods, but me. Ahem. When I awkwardly clear my throat, the ghosts distance themselves even more from me. It's quite quiet here. Do ghostly creatures not shout to attract customers or haggle like humans do? While I look around, I hear a noisy commotion from another street in Black River City and head that way. Just what could be causing such a ruckus among these quiet ghosts? Soon, I enter the bustling market street of Black River Castle. And as I enter, the market street falls silent. Then, from the direction of the street I have just left, sounds begin to grow, eventually turning into a cacophony of a bustling market. The ghosts were neither pale nor gloomy just because they are ghosts, nor were ghostly creatures quiet by nature. Damn it, was it because of me that everyone kept their mouths shut? In this regard, the ghosts in the bright cold realm and the head realm who screamed and ran away at the sight of me are far better. Why is there such a difference between the ghosts of the Nether Ghost realm and those of other realms? I turn my gaze to the will-o'-the-wisp that had been energetically soliciting other ghosts before I arrived. It was definitely the loudest and most vigorous ghost. Hey there, hick. The will-o'-the-wisp, seemingly female in its past life, trembles with a frail voice. I have a question. Why yes, Elder. I'm not tasty. I'm at most just at the chi building stage, so even if Elder eats me, you won't feel a thing. No, I'm not here to eat you. I'm just curious. Come here. When I beckon with my hand, the will-o'-the-wisp emits an intent of almost fainting, its originally blue body turning white with fear. However, the egg ghost that had been using the will-o'-the-wisp to advertise its shop pushes it towards me in terror and panic. Thud. The will-o'-the-wisp, shoved by its master, falls in front of me and trembles in fear, flickering as if about to go out. I use voice transmission so others can't hear and ask. Do you know the difference between the ghosts who scream and run away at the sight of me and you? It doesn't seem to be a difference in cultivation, so why are these beings trembling in fear and silence rather than going wild? I don't know. Actually, if you permit me, I'd like to scream too, may I, please? The will-o'-the-wisp babbles nonsense in a voice that sounds on the brink of insanity. It seems you're in no state to answer. I realize I have asked a ghost with too low a cultivation. I hand the will-o'-the-wisp back to the egg ghost and look around. Let's see, is there no ghost of nascent soul stage or higher? And just as I mutter that, Kuong. Suddenly, there's an explosion in the market street, and a Jiangshi and a tree ghost are frantically running in opposite directions like mad. Both are clearly nascent soul stage ghosts. Hey, wait, damn it, they must have misunderstood something I said. Concluding that all of this is due to the appearance caused by the Great Desert to Dead Sea, I decide to turn my body back into my human form. It seems that even in the Nether Ghost realm, I'm seen as a crazy madman who carries around the heads of cultivators of the same level. This won't do. No matter how unimportant appearances are, communication is still necessary. Lee, why did you have to complete the Great Desert to Dead Sea like this? The current Great Desert to Dead Sea is a quite well-structured and highly completed method, so even for me, it will take quite a while to modify it to give a normal appearance. Cursing Lee's taste inwardly, I resolve to deal with this Great Desert to Dead Sea somehow in the future. For now, I use the ground shrinking technique to chase the slightly slower tree ghost while slowly undoing the Ghost King transformation of the Great Desert to Dead Sea. Gradually, I revert to my ordinary appearance, clad in white robes. Hey, I've changed to a form that won't cause you repulsion. I don't intend to harm you, I just want to share a short conversation, so please answer my questions. At that moment, the tree ghost turns its head to look at me and instead shrieks even more crazily. Kya, please forgive me, elder. Please, Kya, goo 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 goo. As I chase the tree ghost until I reach its back, it wears a face as if it's about to faint, and uses the flying escape technique to flee entirely beyond Black River City, even at the cost of harming its cultivation. Dumbfounded at the scene, I touch my face. No, just why in the world is it screaming at me? As I'm flustered, I suddenly feel a sense of incongruity and look around. The street, which had been bustling with ghostly creatures, is now completely empty. All the ghostly creatures had fled upon seeing my human face. This won't do. Feeling annoyed, I fly towards the center of Black River City. To the Ghost King exuding the aura of the heavenly being stage. Hey, are you the lord of this city? In the palace at the center of Black River City, a skull-faced ghostly creature clad in rags sits cross-legged on top of the palace eaves. I sense several presences inside the palace, but they all seem connected to the skull-faced ghost, appearing to be its puppets. I also realize that this skull-faced ghost, seemingly the lord of Black River City, is incredibly fearful of me. Why yes, elder, I am the lord of this city. Alright, that's good. Just why is everyone so afraid of me? The lord of Black River City, Mangal, trembles as he glances up at the madman before him. Heavens above, why do you give me such trials?